This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. BPL promising that you'll see a change with your bills going forward, but BPL managers worried about their future, their union left confused by their minister. Petroleum retailers call off their protest, and the JCNP sticking to its guns, defending its decision to place the Way Forward Valley Boys in the F category. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. We'll have more on the JCNP and their press conference from last night as well this morning. And then later in business, we'll get a preview of the Headshots and Handshakes promotion. We'll get details about all of that. That's ahead, but first it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, executives of the Bahamas Electrical Utility Managerial Union saying that they have been left confused by answers provided to them by Minister of Energy and Transport JoBeth Colby-Davis. This regarding the future employment of union members, declaring that workers are still out in the cold as the government drives ahead with critical changes to the structure of BPL. Their president, Christopher Hanna, in a Zoom meeting with members saying, quote, after reading the letter that was forwarded to the union by the Minister of Transport and Energy, I am more confused than I was before I sent the questions. The answers were not up to par, and from the answers, I do not recommend that any BPL employee move over to BGC, Bahamas Grid Company. Colby-Davis sent in answers to the union's questions in correspondence dated September 12th. Under the government's 25-year contract with Pike Corporation, which has not yet been made public and whose finalization has never been announced, Pike, through the Bahamian management company Island Grid Solutions, will upgrade and manage the transmission and distribution network on New Providence. Under the joint venture partnership, the government will own 40% of the shares in a special purpose vehicle called Bahamas Grid Company, and Island Grid Solutions will own 60%. Bahamas Grid will hire the New Providence T&D employees at BPL for a period of 1 year, after which they will have the opportunity to remain with Bahamas Grid or return to BPL. But the union wants clarity on those arrangements, specifics that it says have not been forthcoming. One of the questions they asked the minister was when the secondment period will start. Colby-Davis advised that it will start in early 2025 in a phased approach. There's a lot more on this in today's NASA Guardian. Pick up a copy for the details. Consumers can expect to pay an additional 25 cents or per gallon or $2.25 per month at the pump if they spend $50 a week on gas as a result of the recent margin increases approved by the government. That's according to Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association President Raymond Jones. Jones says his estimate is based on current gas prices, which have dropped in recent months. If the price of oil on the international market spikes due to conflict or a perceived shortage, this will affect local prices. However, Jones did not want to speculate on that scenario. He said the margin increases would take effect in a few weeks. The association had been agitating for margin increases for 3 years, repeatedly stressing that their backs were against the wall due to rising operating costs. Its members planned to hold a protest in front of Parliament today, but that was called off after Prime Minister Philip Davis announced that the government agreed to a margin increase. Yesterday, Jones and other members of the association thanked the Prime Minister for understanding their plight and granting the increases. Amid an intensifying dispute between two factions of the Valley Boys, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence, the JCNP, standing by its decision to place the Way Forward Valley Boys, which broke off from the Valley Boys, in the F category. At a press conference yesterday, and in a statement released as well, the JCNP saying that, quote, as has been the case during every previous Boxing Day and New Year's Day Junkanoo parade in New Providence, in recent memory, there will only be one Junkanoo group allowed to participate as the Valley Boys under the leadership of Mr. Brian Adderley in Group A Division. The JCNP has received and accepted a compliant Junkanoo parade registration form application from the Valley Boys under the leadership of Brian Adderley, as has been historically constituted and recognized to participate in Group A. The statement said the JCNP does not consider its recognition of the Valley Boys under Brian Adderley's leadership something that should be livable and palatable for the motoring. It says that it does not consider this to be controversial and believes that the Bahamian public understands that there can only be one Valley Boys group properly registered and recognized to participate in the Group A division. And a man broke down in tears after a jury unanimously found him guilty of murder. Andre Ferguson was accused of the July 6, 2013 murder of Terrell Williams, who was shot outside a home on Augusta Street in Providence. Witnesses testified that they saw Ferguson running with a gun after they heard gunshots. Ferguson and the deceased had a previous history of bad blood. Ferguson, who was on bail during his trial before Justice Gregory Hilton, has been remanded to prison. His sentencing hearing is set for November 20th. And a 30-year-old man accused of getting his girlfriend's teenage daughter pregnant granted bail. The man, whose name has been withheld to protect the 17-year-old's identity, appeared before Justice Neil Brathwaite via video link on Tuesday. The accused has been in custody since May, when he was charged with unlawful sexual intercourse with a dependent. He's accused of having sex with the minor on a family island in January of this year. Prosecutors did not oppose to the bail application. As a condition of his $9,500 bail, the man will sign in at a police station in New Providence 3 times a week. He's also banned from contacting the witnesses. Overseas, a company based in Hungary, apparently responsible for the manufacturing of those pagers that exploded in Lebanon and Syria in an apparent Israeli operation targeting Hezbollah communications networks. Another firm whose brand was used on the devices confirming this today. Pagers used by the militant group Hezbollah exploded near simultaneously a day earlier in Lebanon and Syria, killing at least 12 people, including 2 children, and wounding nearly 3,000. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government blamed Israel for what appeared to be a sophisticated remote attack. An American official said Israel briefed the United States on Tuesday after the attack, in which small amounts of explosives hidden in the pagers were detonated. The person speaking on condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the information publicly. Hezbollah and Israeli forces have exchanged fire nearly daily since October 8th, the day after a deadly Hamas-led attack in southern Israel triggered a massive Israeli counteroffensive and the ongoing war in Gaza. Since then, hundreds have been killed in the strikes in Lebanon and dozens in Israel, while tens of thousands on each side of the border have been displaced. And thousands of anti-government demonstrators marching in support of Bolivia's former president Evo Morales, clashing on Tuesday with counter-protesters blocking their way, a stark sign of an escalating power struggle in the volatile Andean country. In his most brazen show of force yet, current President Luis Arce, the brazen show against the president, Morales sent word to his followers to mobilize what he called a march to save Bolivia, a 190-kilometer or 118-mile trek from the small village of Caracola to the capital, La Paz, denouncing the government of his protege turned bitter rival. Morales, a former coca grower, has retained significant support among poor and indigenous Bolivians, despite his resignation in 2019 amid mass protests over his disrupted re-election. The march in solidarity with him began peacefully Tuesday morning, but turned violent hours later when hundreds of counter-protesters armed with tear gas bombs, stones, and firecrackers spread across the highway, waiting to confront the nearly 10,000 marchers. Some of them set a giant effigy of Morales on fire. And a landslide caused by heavy rains has killed 6 people near Mexico City. The landslide on Monday night in the community northwest of the city also affected a house and school. The victims were 4 men and 2 women. Another 3 people were injured and transported to a state hospital. The state governor has ordered the deployment of rescue teams and security task forces to support affected families. The deaths occurred a few days after another landslide killed 9 people on Saturday in a city west of Mexico City. A 3-month-old baby was among the victims. 2 children, ages 10 and 12, and a 34-year-old woman were rescued. Several homes were affected, and authorities had to evacuate more than 100 people for fear of further landslides. In sports, the Bahamas gearing up to celebrate its brightest young stars as the Bahamas Professional Services honors 40 under 40. They'll stage the top 40 under 40 event, here to recognize some of the most successful and influential business professionals in the country under the age of 40 years old. Taking place on September 21st at the Grand Hyatt Bahamar, this year's event expected to shine a light on a trio of individuals from the sports community. Duron Donaldson, the Secretary General of the Bahamas Olympic Committee and Director of Tennis at Lyford Key, and Petra Haven, Executive Director of the Bahamas Anti-Doping Commission, and Jay Philippe, Sports Anchor at ZNS Northern Service, and the Bahamas Junior Boys National Basketball Coach. Donaldson expressing his gratitude for the honor. You can read all about that in today's Guardian Sports section. And Derek Jeter's Turn 2 Foundation announcing the highly anticipated return of the Derek Jeter Invitational in partnership with Bahamar. It's going to be September 19th through 22nd. Dozens of stars from the world of sports and entertainment will join the Baseball Hall of Famer for 2 days of competitive golf at Bahamar's Jack Nicklaus signature design Royal Blue Golf Course, along with special events held throughout the resort benefiting Jeter's Turn 2 Foundation and its programs empowering youth. And in the wake of another fantastic summer for Bahamas baseball at all levels, and on the verge of the 6th Caribbean Baseball Cup, the Bahamas has its sights set on becoming a major hub for baseball in the Caribbean. The Andre Rogers National Baseball Stadium being recognized as a top-tier outlet for baseball in the region. Over 20 young Bahamian men and women are engaged in baseball activities in minor league baseball, and many more in high schools and colleges in the United States. Against that backdrop, the Bahamas Baseball Association is aiming to become the central hub for baseball here in the region. The Caribbean Baseball Cup is returning October 23rd through 28th, and this will be the second time that the Andre Rogers Stadium will serve as the venue for the tournament. Puerto Rico took home the title last time the Classic was held here. This year, 6 nations are set to take part The Bahamas, of course, defending champion Cuba, last year's runner-up Curacao, two-time champions Dominican Republic, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and St. Martin competing for the first time. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. And from the NFL, the Miami Dolphins placing Tua Tagovailoa on injured reserve after the quarterback was diagnosed with his third concussion in 2 years. Tua will be sidelined for at least 4 games. He will be eligible to return in Week 8 when the Dolphins host Arizona, but has to complete a series of tests and assessments required by the NFL's concussion protocol before he can return to the field. Tua was hurt last Thursday night when he collided with Buffalo defensive back Damar Hamlin. He ran for a first down and then initiated the contact by lowering his shoulder into Hamlin instead of sliding. Players from both teams immediately motioned that Tua was hurt. As he lay on the turf, the quarterback exhibited some signs typically associated with a traumatic brain injury. Meanwhile, Coach Mike McDaniel has cautioned against speculation on the quarterback's future, stressing that he's more focused on Tua getting healthy than what this latest concussion means for the team and for his career. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, brought to you by the Hit Spot, we've got a stationary front draped across central Florida that is interacting with a mid to upper level low over the southeastern U.S. and a weak surface trough directly over these islands. That's going to enhance moisture and instability. This is going to continue through at least Thursday, bringing a continued chance of shower and thunderstorm activities, especially during afternoon and evening hours. The presence of that weak surface pressure pattern will maintain light to moderate winds across the islands. As we get later into the week, though, the upper level trough is forecast to weaken and lift northeastward. By the end of the week, the frontal boundary will weaken and high pressure from the Atlantic will build. This pattern is going to lead to a gradual decrease in shower and thunderstorm coverage with fewer showers and more sunshine, and a more settled weather pattern into the weekend. Expecting another hot day today, though. High temperatures and humidity expected in the southeast Bahamas. That's going to increase the risk of heat-related illnesses. Everyone's being advised to stay hydrated and avoid strenuous outdoor activities during peak sunshine hours. Again, especially for the southeast Bahamas. Also today, minor coastal erosion is possible due to the influence of king tides, which are expected to persist through the remainder of the week. And everyone along the coast should be aware that there is potential for erosion and take measures to protect yourself where possible. So motorists along coastal roads advised to exercise caution as well, especially during high tides. Your forecast for today for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, partly cloudy to cloudy, isolated showers this morning, becoming widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by this afternoon. You've got about a 40 to 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Winds south to southwest at 10 knots or less, but falling light and variable at times. For the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, partly cloudy to cloudy, isolated showers this morning, becoming widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by the afternoon. Also a 40 to 60% chance of showers. Winds south to southwest at 10 knots or less, falling light and variable at times. For the central Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, isolated to widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. For the southeast Bahamas, partly sunny, hot and humid with a chance of isolated showers. Temperatures today in the northern and northwest Bahamas, highs around about 88 Fahrenheit, 31 Celsius. A bit warmer in the southeast Bahamas, around 90, 91 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 78 Fahrenheit for the northern Bahamas, northwest Bahamas. Maybe as warm as 79. 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. The heat index will be a factor in the southeast Bahamas, making it feel like it's about 105 Fahrenheit today. 41 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook. And a look at the tropics in our next weather check. This weather check brought to you by the Hit Spot. Have a Japanese import vehicle and no longer able to listen to news and talk on Guardian Radio? Well, the Hit Spot is offering a $79.99 special, VAT included. That includes your band extender equipment and installation. This special during the month of September. Mention this for that discount at the Hit Spot on Soldier Road.
Jump in your Japanese import and you turn the radio on. All you hear is... For the month of September, the Hit Spot will install a band extender in your Japanese import for the discounted rate of only $79.99, VAT included. Get your band expander installed today at the Hit Spot and listen to
Star 106.5.
Plus, get fresh news and smart talk on
Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
I'm Leonard Sands.
And I'm Debbie Deal.
And you know us from the Contractors Association. We're excited to talk about our new show coming to Guardian Radio called Nailed It.
We are going to be on Thursday nights between 6:30 and 7:30.
So we're very happy to invite everyone to listen into our shows as we talk about construction, design-related things. Also,
if you are a subcontractor, if you're planning on building a home or renovating, you need to be a part of this show. And tune in.
Nailed it. Premiering Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Do you know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
Wishing for some extra cash this summer? Yeah! Enter Esso's Summer Wins promotion. Esso is giving you the chance to win 3 incredible cash prizes. $2,000, $2,500, and the grandest prize of them all, $5,000. To enter, simply fuel up with $25 or more, write your contact information on the back of your receipt, and you'll be eligible to win. 10 lucky customers will also have a chance to participate in convenience store sweepstakes. Promotion ends September 29th, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Like and follow Sol Petroleum on Facebook for more details.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Nassau, get ready for a night you simply won't want to miss. For the first time in over 40 years, experience an evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport on Saturday, October 5th. Tickets are on sale now. Go to ticketboxevents.com or go to the Nassau Cruiseport box office located in the Junkanoo Museum. Joining Eddie on stage, Franchon, Gino D, Ira Stoll, and the Higher Level Band. An evening with Eddie Menace live at the Amphitheater, Nassau Cruiseport, Saturday, October 5th. Get your tickets now.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Craving something delicious and freshly made? Dunkin' has got you covered all day your way. From savory sausage, egg and cheese to crispy bacon, ham, and even tuna. Our sandwiches are made to order just for you. Choose your favorite. Bagels, croissant, toast, or muffin. Whatever you want, we've got it. Whether it's a classic grilled cheese or a hearty club, your perfect sandwich is just a bite away. Dunkin's fresh, made-to-order sandwiches made all day, every day, only at Dunkin'. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Are you ready to be inspired? Get ready for the event of the year. Inspire Her 2024 is back and better than ever. Join us at the luxurious Atlantis Hotel Paradise Island on October 10th for an evening filled with inspiration, empowerment, and connection. Hear from leading women activists, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and more as they share their stories, insights, and wisdom. Get tickets now in the Alive Events app. Corporate packages and vendor opportunities are also available. Inspire Her 2024 Women's Conference, October 10th. See you there.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Great to have you with us.
Glad to be here.
A lot to talk about this morning, including Junkanoo and what the JCNP is saying. They're sticking to their guns. They're not budging on this. The breakaway, is that what you call them? The Way Forward Valley Boy Group must rush in the F category. That's what they're saying. We can get deeper into that this morning. And we're scheduled to have the JCNP with us this morning. We'll see. But in any event, we'll be having that discussion. Later in business, we've been talking about this for a little bit. We're finally going to talk with the folks from Headshots and Handshakes, find out what that promotion is all about. You don't want to miss that. That's all ahead on this Wednesday. But let's talk about what else is in the news. And in the news, a big headline in the Nassau Guardian, BPL managers worry over future. Their union left confused by comments from the minister. Well, they certainly are not alone with that. And also the other big story, petroleum retailers call off their protest, as we expected they would, as a result of the Prime Minister promising that margin increase, 25 cents per gallon, 15 cents per gallon of diesel. All right, so we got into this a lot yesterday. Let's begin with the petroleum retailers. We'll get to BPL after that. But no surprise. They got what they wanted, and so there's no reason to protest outside Parliament today. They did have a press conference, the Petroleum Retailers Association. They did have a press conference yesterday, and they spoke to the media. Take a listen to this report from our Vonik Toot.
Protest outside of Parliament has been cancelled following the Prime Minister's announcement that the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association will receive a margin increase of 25 cents on a gallon of gasoline and 15 cents on a gallon of diesel. Association President Raymond Jones says they are grateful after 3 years of agitating for an increase.
It's been a long road, but clearly I wish to publicly thank the Prime Minister again. They've recognized the issues we've had, as they did in an earlier subvention. And also, he continued to tell us that we can work something out. The prices need to come down because he don't want to put any unjust burden on the Bahamian public. And we applaud that, we support that. Over the last several weeks, we've actually increased our PR campaign, and we had a committee formed for that, to try to raise more awareness of the public to the true costs and the true margin that the retailers actually enjoy, which is far and away being decimated by rising costs. But today I'm happy to report that we are now unified in support of what the government has done for us.
Retailers last received an increase in 2011 under the Ingram administration. Jones said he believes the increase is livable for consumers, adding it will take effect in a few weeks.
So if someone is spending about $20 a week on fuel, it's going to cost them an extra $1 a week. Someone that's spending about $50 a week, maybe $2.25, about a bottle of water. But as the Prime Minister indicated, in which our data shows, with the projected continued decrease in the price of fuel, a consumer might end up over the period of a month or two, seeing maybe only a 50 cents or 60 cents increase in the cost.
Petroleum retailers Bernard Porky Dorset and Peter Roker spoke with the media outside Parliament where the protest would have been held. He said while they are smiling today, the work continues.
People are smiling, but there's still work to be done. And we appreciate tomorrow there will be no protest in Roslyn Square. Okay, we're here to tell you that. There will be no closures, because I'm hearing rumors all over the place of who's not going to be there, who's going to be there. That will not happen. Business as usual. Everybody go back to work.
Vice President Vasco Bastian called it a happy day for service station operators.
This is when governments and private sector work together to relieve any type of stress or tension that a private sector industry has. We've been working with the government for the last 3 years, like Mr. President said, Mr. Jones, and this is a happy day. We want to publicly thank the Prime Minister, publicly thank him for all that he has done, all that they have done to make sure that this day happened. This is a happy day. We rejoice in it. We celebrate it. This is just the beginning of things that we have planned as an association to reform this association and this country when it comes to the petroleum industry. There are some other concerns in regards to wholesalers who charge exorbitant prices on rent, who charge some other stuff, but we are going to deal with that another day.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Tood.
Okay. How do you feel about those numbers that they're saying? It's only going to be a couple of dollars more for people. I don't know. And then, the world is very volatile. You see they got pagers blowing up. That's some fancy stuff going on. Anything could pop off, as they say, at any minute, which could drive the price of fuel up. Yeah. Anyway, I wouldn't give those numbers, but I know they needed this. They've made the case. I think even people who don't want to have to pay more understand their plight and feel their pain and can sympathize with them. But let's get your reaction to it, folks. And again, as people said yesterday, we're not taking into account the Family Islands, where it's $1 more than here in New Providence or more.
But I was asked if they have to increase their margin in the Family Islands. I mean, obviously they're included, but do they have to?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
or
that could
they
create
included?
a chaotic situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then It's probably harder to get fuel there. They probably do need to make more money. They
probably do.
They probably wish they could do more on the Family Islands. I don't know. But let's get your reaction to this. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796.
The problem here is we don't have many options, right, when it comes to transportation and getting around safely on the island, right? You almost, and people have been feeling this way for long, you almost have to own a car if you don't want to go on the crazy public bus system. If you have a bike, it's dangerous. They're not like dedicated lanes and
like a bicycle
lanes. Even those little electric scooters, same thing. You don't have dedicated areas to ride them. The sidewalks are where you put them. They could kill you too. So really, you kind of don't have a choice in the country, right? Everybody's blocked ride share companies, so they haven't taken off, so you can't use them. You got your electric vehicles, which you could switch to if you want to. But you don't have many options.
It's
you gotta buy gas.
It's almost like it's intentional, right?
You gotta buy gas.
Yeah. No, you don't have many options, as you say. Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning. You're on the air.
What are you doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, but tell me this: everything going on, and I just was listening to the news in the state. But everything is going on. The gas going on there. They have inflation going down. They have mortgage levels going. Everything going on right down next door neighbor, and we going up. I mean, everyone know what the deal is on that.
Well, I mean, the gas prices are going down. They are going down here. Yes, now we'll add 25 cents per gallon onto that, but that's not because of that's something different. But the prices are going down. This is what the retailers are saying, and the Prime Minister as well. The prices are trending down, and this is why this might be a good time to increase the margin for the retailers.
Yeah, but I mean, we still stuck in this $5 or something. I mean, you know.
Well, remember now, the majority of that is, well, a good portion of that. The largest portion of it goes to the government.
Yeah.
So next time you see your MP, ask a question about that.
Yeah.
And the thing, tell me this: what the gas? The gas is supposed to be the money, the portion you're getting from the gas. What that's supposed to be like? That's supposed to be to fix the roads, and what that's supposed to contribute to?
Contribute to the
Supposedly,
consolidated fund.
yeah, but that's where it goes. But it's so they tell us, right? It's supposed to be for roads and all those things. So
the thing that they collecting money from these different places and all that, and they are not using them. They're supposed to use even the tariff fee. They have the one. They have the levy fee, the 1% levy fee. Yeah, that's supposed to go to the garbage for the garbage collection and everything and all that. I don't think they're using these. You know, they're getting the money, but they're not distributing. They're not putting them where they need to go.
I mean, I think they are, but it isn't in a timely fashion, right? It takes much longer than it should.
Yeah.
Right? So we all have concerns. I appreciate your call. Thank you very much.
All right.
They do get around. I noticed a lot of potholes have been filled in recently, but they were there for a long time. But they've been filled in, which is great. Great stuff, right? Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester, Seattle, and Johnson.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight. First of all, an increase is an increase on the economy. Regardless of where it comes from, it has an impact on government. If you just add $10 a week, whatever amount you want to my gas bill, that's $10 a week, whatever that doesn't get to multiply through the economy. And so the taxation aspect of impact is there. You know, the gas retailers don't control the price of gas, so it could go down, it could go up. So if it goes back up to the same price thing, then that will be the increase added to it. The biggest problem we have is not necessarily the gas, it's the very thing that has not happened. The economy has not grown and been lackluster for years. And so what we need is some growth strategies. I've often told you and others, and Chester with the bus, the Bahamas, everything's intentional. The Bahamas has a carbon taxation regime. And every time you remove a process that carbon reducing carbon impact, the taxes they get from it, they then have to grow the economy in an equitable amount. And so if you have a bus system that basically may take as much as 40 to 50% of the cars out immediately in the effective bus system, then where does the government get that money from to balance the books without an actual economic growth? And so this just brings me an ending right to the CMPPL. And this is why, as much as we talk about green energy and reducing the cost, that I've told you, they have put green energy is an example here in Grand Bahama, where they have 25-year contract for the 9.5 cents. And so when you begin to look at the generation, that has less machines for generation, et cetera, et cetera. If you extrapolate that of us even meeting our 30% goal, it can have a tremendous impact.
But let's talk some more about this, because, I mean, it's a very cynical view, but I 100% agree with you. Clearly, this is intentional, right? What are we to do? That may exactly be why they're doing what they're doing or not doing, right? But we need a reliable public transportation system here in New Providence. The Family Islands need it as well. What are we going to do? We're just going to sit back and say, oh, well, that's how they want it. That's how they like it?
No, what we need to do is we need to stop axing, and it's not like, it's just the best expressive way for me saying it, but axing mosquitoes, that's the best way to get them to stop biting. So when you start axing the bus drivers and taxi drivers and other different things, which is the best way to organize them, is not necessarily in the best interest of the entire country.
No, definitely not.
Right, and so this is why you need leadership that actually make the decision, but at the same time has a solution for the growth.
Which country will we get that leadership from? Because I don't know if it's going to come.
No, I think the problem is us. The leadership is within us. When I used to use the statement on you, that's the thing. You should say that we should say what's the word? A failure of leadership, right? It's not a failure of leadership; it's leadership failure, something of that sort to say. But kind of clip in mind now. But here's the point: the failure of lack of leadership. One is where there's leadership available, but we are just not entertaining them. We're not integrating them into the system. Maybe it's the political system that we have, and I believe it or not, Dwight, I don't want to go too far out of the place, but campaign reform will actually bring that in place. Because what campaign reform will do is give most likely everybody an even access to running for office. And so you will have more diversity in the intelligentsia that goes into Parliament.
So that's why they're afraid of implementing it then.
Right, because what happens is, you remember now, Dwight, let's say you own a store, and somebody comes to you that you know is crazy, and somebody comes to you from a business class. Which one would you support? Chances are you would support the business class rather than the crazy people the party sent to you. And so campaign reform is more than just about giving money to political parties. Campaign reform is a thing of, say, you may just restrict no more than $250,000 can be spent on each constituency. And you put these things in place, it actually changes the dynamics. But when you look at the bus system, Dwight, every country in the world with an operating bus system has an efficiency growth of about 40%. Because no longer now are people late to work, late going home, late in picking up their kids, or the school run and all these other different things. So now what happens is somehow that lost productivity of 1, 2, 3 hours a day that we're losing of the very worker is now put in the workplace. And so this is what happens is, and seriously, I think this next election should be talking about the digitization and digitalization of our economy. Is the only way for it to grow. We have been stagnant 20 years, 30 years. I mean, I don't know how long we have to keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. But just thousands of people, Dwight, in the digitized economy can be put to work. Just go on social media, and you see everybody and their mama tells you how to make money utilizing a digital system. But if you even put 1,000 behemoths to work tomorrow, they have no access except through a long process to have access from international capital coming back to them, selling things to people they're selling things they don't have to people they don't know for money they don't have. So we have a leadership that is anchored in the past and denies of the future. Thank you so much.
Very scary. Thank you very much.
That's true. It may be a leadership issue as well, but also in terms of development, in some instances we're a bit too far gone, right? Let's be honest, the country's broke, right? So you got that along with the leadership that in some instances cannot do things when they get into office.
Why not?
Just because it'll take too much money and the country don't have money. right? When you talk about local government, I think what some areas of New Providence and other family islands need is for these big money foreign investors, when they finish building their project, to just throw money at infrastructure because the government can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And again, for people have known that New Providence is an unplanned city for a long time, but nobody's minded to fix that problem, that unplanned problem.
Right.
Right. And they got for Gladstone Road their plan to fix the road and put in bike lanes. And they're going to be bike lanes. They're going to be bike lanes to nowhere.
So they said, but I doubt it's going to happen.
But they're going to be bike lanes to nowhere because after you get off of that road, which is probably not where your destination is, then you're in Dangerland on your bike.
The wildest roundabout in the history of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see, that's a problem. Just a lot of talk, right? Without any real
It's
consideration
not
or planning.
real consideration or planning.
Yeah. Very scary. All right, let's read these messages before we get to the BPL issue. This text says, what's the price increase to the consumer for every $20? What? You're going to get less gas than you were before because it's 25 cents more. So I'm not sure. Anyway, will the retailers continue the practice of increasing their prices 2 days after OPEC announces the oil prices? I don't know what you're saying. I don't think that's what happens there. Even though it could be weeks before any impact of the change is felt locally. You think that's what they're doing? Is that what you all are doing? I know they're listening. I don't think so, but send me a message. Tell me.
What are they doing?
This person says that whenever OPEC announces they're raising the prices, immediately the retailers hike their prices up, which...
Hike it?
That's what they said. That's what the text was suggesting. In short, the petroleum dealers and the PM are saying, don't worry, public, another war is imminent, which has a high probability nowadays. Well, no, they're kind of saying the opposite. They're like, unless there is, and right? Anyway. Okay. What happens when gas prices increase again? The small man will catch eternal hell. The Prime Minister is all about convenience and making himself look good. This administration is lousy and lost in the sauce. Well, it's a chance they're going to have to take, but you either have that or a bunch of people unemployed and a bunch of service stations closing down.
So
you can't win in any event. Which one? Which ones are going to be? This person says here, what's going on with the street lights? Everywhere you go on the island, there are more street lights off than on. Is BPL still responsible for the upkeep of lights, or is it the new power entity? Or is it Works?
It was Works for a time.
I think it was Works.
And Works had a separate company that was dealing with it at some time. I don't know what happened to that.
I actually think it's gotten a little better than it was a few months back with the street lights.
Right,
unless I don't go out at night anymore. Is that what it is?
I don't know, but they're talking about something recent, eh?
I remember when the highway, they were just like, you'd go for about a mile on JFK without any street lights working. I think that's resolved now, I think.
JFK.
Is it?
The street lights on JFK?
What do you mean? What? You know how easy it is to drive into that lake? If you're not paying attention? Yes. You don't call that JFK?
I don't call them street lights.
What now?
Street lights?
What's happening with you?
I was thinking traffic lights for some reason.
It's still not bright enough, though. Anyway, Dwight, do you know how many of us spend weekly on drinks? All some of us have to do is cut back on that six-pack. You hear that, Chester?
What?
Most of us expect to see our issues resolved overnight, no matter which government is in office. You think so? Once again, the Bahamian people have been bamboozled. The government did not give the petroleum dealers anything in April 2025. What's happening? When the fuel prices increased, motorists in New Providence will be paying $7.50 to $8. Are you in the future? What's going on here? What's happening? Did you just send us this text from next year? So, oh boy, it's going to be that bad. Hey, they're saying it'll be $7.50 to $8 per gallon, and then $8.50 to $9 in the Family Islands. That's a text from 2025, folks. Get ready for that. Wow.
Like my good father-in-law say, even if they brought in gas at cost of zero, you'd still be paying $2 something for gas.
Thanks mainly to the government.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. This person. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit. And oh my goodness. Okay, I don't understand. No. I watch these numbers literally within. This is the same person who said they increase it. Okay, literally within 2 days of OPEC announcing price increases, the retailers increased prices. The last time it happened, I sent a comment on it. Okay. Wow.
Interesting.
Wow. This person, though, retailers do not control when the price of gas changes. At the current price of $20 and on gas will now be $21.25. Well, in order to get the same amount of gas you were getting before, I guess. And take this call, and then we'll get to the BPO. Yeah. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
You know, I'm saddened to say, you know, I am one of those. When I hear the term that the Bahamas is broke, you know, I am one of those that literally shake my head. I mean, we continue to watch the national debt grow, but yet the infrastructure in this country appears not to be, in terms of dollar for dollar, it seems not to be keeping pace with what we are borrowing. The national debt still, and this is now a new conversation again, although it's old, it's still a very vibrant conversation being held, you know, while our people play cards and dominoes and stuff under the tree. You know, we have not seen or actually heard any progression on how the national debt is being paid off. We watching the infrastructure around us go into even deeper deplorable states. I am one of those advocates now that notice along our highways and byways, and it's so kind of, you know, ironic that you would mention the roadways that run from Bahama Boulevard towards the airport, how that place was nicely lit at one time, and now in sections it is dark. We still talk a lot about the new Bahamas Boulevard with those islands in the middle of the road with no cat eyes, no markings, no nothing, and the road is dark with no street lights. You run up on those things, you flat your tire, and quite possibly lose your life. And yet still there's no movement on that. I sent you a photograph of a pothole that sits on top of Hawkins Hill near Iman. We talk about this stuff on the airwaves, and I'm sure we have representatives in these areas that hear these conversations, and yet that pothole remains open. I mean, what kind of systems do we have in this country where it's not truly responsive to the needs of the Bahamian people, especially the dangers that we see out there? We bring it to their attention, and yet there's no movement on these things.
The system is a giant central government. That is the problem. It's
yeah,
slow,
but we have agencies responsible for these things.
They're all part of the big giant central government.
You know, well, all I'm going to say here, Dwight, is, you know, being born at a time where we saw the Bahamas really was prospering, going forward, advancing forward, and looking at where we are now, it pales by comparison. We are stagnant. We are not moving. We are borrowing all kinds of monies that not only we, but our children and our children's children have now got to pay back to the borrowers. And yet we are not getting the level of service pound for the monies that we're borrowing. How much is it going to really take to fix Nassau or New Providence proper? How much money is it going to take to fix Andros, Long Island, Acklands, Crooked Island? How much money individually is it going to take? The government borrowing all these monies from all these people around the world. How much money is it going to take to fix the Bahamas and apply those monies effectively to fixing the Bahamas? That is the question. The taxpayers got to pay this money back, and we are tired of excuses. 3 years in, and this country still has not really moved the needle towards prosperity and self-reliance in any way, shape, or form. But thanks for taking my call this morning.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Somehow we end up squandering lots of money too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We sat in that conversation with those guys about cost overruns for construction.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes 100%. You know what that money could do?
Almost always.
You know what that money could do?
Government buildings, yeah.
And nobody heads rolls over these cost overruns. I mean, you're talking about $10-15 million gone
Yeah. A few texts before we go to a break. This person says here, a lot of street lights are flashing. Street or traffic lights?
See?
Wait, so that person meant street lights before. Traffic lights, traffic.
I mean, the street lights flash too.
What type of flash? You mean like they're malfunctioning?
They'd be blinking. Like.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I know the traffic lights. Oh, boy. They're flashing all the time. This texter says here, without the consumers, how would the gas dealers survive? What? I hope the government doesn't put this hike on us. What are you saying? Where have you been? It is going to be on you. Yes, the Prime Minister did not say we're going to deduct the 25 cents from what we get. No, it's definitely going to be on you.
Without the who?
The consumers. Well, of course.
Well, where you going?
Without consumers, every business will fail. I mean, what? What's happening? I'm so confused. This person says, you said a bunch of people are unemployed by gas stations. I didn't say that. I said that is what they say would happen if they have to close, which they are close to doing if they don't get the hike. They said that they've said that for 3 years now, that if they're going to have to lay off people, they're going to have to close down, and that would mean that if they didn't get this hike, right? So. But they're saying, well, the one station employs 30 people. That's not a lot of people. So you think that they should close down and put those people out of work. It's going to have lots of ripple impacts, right? Ripple effects if they close down.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of bigger problems. And there would be employment impacts all over. So I don't know. What are you saying? You think they should not get the hike and let market forces take the course. Whoever can stay alive, that's it. All right. Well, it would be a very unpleasant experience going to get gas with the lines and the long waits. Yeah. Okay. I hear you. This person says, I see the opposition saying that why the government didn't take the loss, but it got to come from the people regardless, because the money have to come from somewhere, because the government can't take no loss. As we speak, we still have to borrow. The government, the great USA still has to borrow, so Bahamians really have to wake up. Interesting point. Okay. And this text here, why didn't the government take that? Yeah, the same thing the text would say. Why didn't they take it out of theirs? Well, Chester's correct. I was on JFK on Saturday night. Those lights may as well have been strobes. Oh, boy. Okay. I haven't been out there at night in a while. Yeah, got the club. That must have been nice along the lake to see that.
No,
we got to go to a break, folks. We're going to be back with a whole lot more to talk about on this Wednesday. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Let's go through the Bahamas, have fun with me. Lots to do and lots to see. Many islands to pick and choose. You may fly or take a cruise. I'll take you to Nassau, the capital. Watch a Junkanoo festival. Then to Gad Island, eat flour cake. Watch quadrille dancing to the rake and scrape. My Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley.
This could mean lower borrowing costs for you if you want to buy a house or a car, for instance. The AP's Sagar Magani's got it.
The Federal Reserve is set to do something it has not done in more than 4 years. At its most anticipated meeting in years, the Fed is poised to cut its benchmark interest rate, which is at a 23-year high. With inflation all but defeated, Chair Jerome Powell said last month,
"The time has come for policy to adjust."
And the main question today,
whether we get a rate cut of 1/4 or 1/2 of 1%.
Bankrate.com's Mark Hamrick says it may not matter much because once rates start coming down,
they're going to be coming down a lot in the future months,
giving borrowers relief on things like home and auto loans. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Sean Diddy Combs is expected to appeal the no bail decision in his sex trafficking case today. He's pleaded not guilty, and the judge ordered him jailed without bail as he awaits trial. The latest now on those pagers that exploded in Lebanon and Syria yesterday, with deadly results. The AP's Charles de Ledesma has this.
Pagers used by the militant group Hezbollah exploded near simultaneously on Tuesday in Lebanon and Syria, killing at least 12 people, including 2 children, and wounding nearly 3,000. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government blamed Israel for what appears to be a sophisticated remote attack. A company based in Hungary was responsible for manufacturing the pages that exploded in an apparent Israeli operation targeting Hezbollah's communications network. Another firm whose brand was used on the devices said on Wednesday. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Tupperware Brands has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. It plans to continue operating and will ask for court approval for a sale. This is AP News. The latest now on the deadly implosion of the Titan. The AP's Ed Donahue.
A key employee says the Titan submersible tragedy could have been prevented. OceanGate's former operations director, David Lockridge, testified he felt let down by a decision by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration not to follow through on his complaint. Before its last fatal voyage last year, he called the Titan unsafe.
The whole idea behind the company was to make money. That's it. There was very little in the way of science.
10 months after filing the complaint, Lockridge walked away. The case was closed.
It was nothing. It was all smoke and mirrors, all the social media that you see about all these past expeditions. They always had issues with their expeditions. I didn't know this at the time.
Last year, 5 people died when the Titan imploded as it was headed to the wreck of the Titanic. I'm Ed Donahue.
And I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. In real-time traffic, Milo Highway, as usual, a hot spot this morning. Heavy traffic, heavier than usual this morning, almost all the way down to Carmichael, heading northbound. So that's through the Fire Trail roundabout and all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Traffic backed up along Fire Trail eastbound and westbound along Tonic Williams Darling Highway. Over on Gladstone Road, it is busy as well. North of Fire Trail, you see that traffic all the way up to the John F. Kennedy Drive, Bahamar Boulevard roundabout. Traffic backed up along John F. Kennedy Drive, both directions as well this morning. 6 roundabout, we're seeing some building traffic there as well on the JFK Drive side. And up at New Providence Highway, as at the roundabout there, busy for Saunders Beach West Bay Street eastbound traffic at that roundabout. Independence Drive, traffic back to both directions, but especially westbound, heading towards the Blue Hill Road roundabout. Blue Hill near Carmichael, also busy. Carmichael, heavy eastbound traffic this morning. The East Street and Soldier Road intersection is busy. Traffic north of that on East Street, heavy on the way to the roundabout with East-West Highway and Independence Drive. Then we've got Prince Charles Drive. Multiple hotspots there near Elizabeth Estates, near Fox Hill Road, on the way to Beatrice Avenue and straight through to Robinson Road, west of Soldier Road, just a mess, straight through to Marathon and East-West Highway. Soldier Road's busy for you as well, northbound, and a bit of congestion at the Bernard, Wolf, and Village Road intersection. Eastern Road, heavy traffic east of Fox Hill, straight up to Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. Bernard Road busy for you near the schools as well. That's what we're looking at right now in your real-time traffic. That's your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for this morning, brought to you by Scotiabank. We've got stationary front draped across central Florida that's interacting with the mid to upper level low over the southeastern United States and a weak surface trough directly over the islands, enhancing moisture and instability. This pattern is going to continue through Thursday, bringing continued chance of shower activity, but we are expecting that by the end of the week, this frontal boundary is going to weaken, and that could bring in some drier conditions for your weekend. So for today, for the northern Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, isolated showers, becoming widely scattered with widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. For the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence, partly cloudy to cloudy with isolated showers this morning, becoming widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by this afternoon. Motorists along coastal roads and residents along coastal areas advised to take precautions as king tides are creating hazardous coastal conditions. Could see some erosion and overtopping waves as well. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, isolated to widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Temperatures in the northern and northwest Bahamas in the upper 80s today for highs, in the upper 70s for lows. In the southeast Bahamas, highs around 90 Fahrenheit. But the heat index will make you feel like it's 105 Fahrenheit. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. We'll have a look at the tropics when we have your next weather check after the 8 o'clock news. This weather check brought to you by Scotiabank. Be a fraud fighter. Sharing isn't always caring. Keep your personal and financial info private. Never share account details with anyone. A reminder from Scotiabank.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
When you jump in your Japanese import and you turn the radio on, all you hear is... For the month of September, the Hit Spot will install a band extender in your Japanese import for the discounted rate of only $79.99, VAT included. Get your band expander installed today at the Hit Spot and listen to
Star 106.5.
Plus, get fresh news and smart talk on
Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Do you know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
All right, here we go. There you go. Chunkanoo. Yes. I tell you. I feel it.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Rewards. We're going to get to that BPL discussion a little bit later in the show. But as promised, we want to talk about Junkanoo and what's happening. The JCNP had a press conference yesterday and issued a statement as well. We want to play this clip from the press conference. And we, as promised, we've got guests from the JCNP with us today. So this is, we've been waiting for this for a while. But take a listen to what was said last night at this JCNP press conference dealing with this debacle with the Valley Boys.
Respond to our question. Good afternoon. The fraction led by Mr. Trevor Davis can participate in the fund category under whatever name they so choose to participate under. It has really nothing to do with the JCNP and its parade where persons are competing for a prize.
Devontae Arnold from ZNS. Mr. Miller, you just would have said that the JCNP does not encourage groups to have similar names. With that situation that you just mentioned there, would that not create an issue, as you said, for viewers? To have one group participate as a Valley Boys and
Again, it will not create any controversy for viewers. To be judged, you're not judged by the name of your group, but by a costume number. So every group will have a group number that is affixed to their banner, which the judges and the public will identify easily for the competition aspect of the parade.
The major push for members of Trevor Davis's faction, the Valley Boys, has been for the group to unify. What has been the JCNP's position on the union of both factions, and what type of work has been done in that vein from the JCNP side?
But I can't speak to that as an internal matter as it pertains to the Valley Boys and whether they want to rejoin or separate. Entities of the Valley Boys will have to answer that question. As it pertains to the JCNP, our focus and sole focus is on the execution of the 2024-2025 Junk Crew parades. As it pertains to that issue, that's an internal issue, and I would direct you to the powers that be to answer that question.
Just for clarification.
Okay, so that's Dion Miller there. We're expecting Dion Miller with us this morning, and we have in studio Acting Secretary Ivan Thompson, Assistant Secretary, definitely more than acting, Assistant Secretary Ivan Thompson, and we got a whole lot of questions for the JCNP, and we're glad that you're here with us this morning. What we're going to do, we're going to go to the news, and we'll pick this up on the other side, we're going to try to get a complete understanding. We've had so much confusion. I'm sure it's been confusing for you all as well, or maybe not.
No, it's not.
No,
it's never
okay,
confusing.
not been confusing. He says. All right, so we're gonna get into it, folks. You don't want to miss it. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's going on. We've got a stationary front draped across central Florida that's interacting with a mid to upper level low over the southeastern United States and a weak surface trough directly over the islands. That's going to enhance moisture instability. And this is going to continue at least through Thursday, elevating shower and thunderstorm chances, especially during afternoon and evening hours. Then there's the presence of a weak surface pressure pattern that's going to maintain light to moderate winds across the islands as well. But as we get closer to the end of the week, heading into the weekend, the upper level trough is forecast to weaken and lift northeastwards. And that's going to mean that the frontal boundary will weaken and high pressure from the Atlantic will build. That's going to lead to a gradual decrease in shower and thunderstorm activity with more sunshine for your weekend. For the southeast Bahamas, high temperatures and humidity expected, and that's going to likely increase the risk of heat-related illnesses, so you're advised to limit outdoor activities and stay hydrated. And with the supermoon, we're seeing king tides, and there's a major risk for coastal flooding. So residents, businesses, and motorists along coastal roadways need to keep that in mind today. So for today, for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, partly cloudy to cloudy, isolated showers this morning, becoming widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms by this afternoon into the evening. The northwest Bahamas seeing similar conditions as well, including New Providence. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to partly sunny, isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. High temperatures for the northwest and northern Bahamas in the upper 80s, near 31 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 78 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. For the central and southeast Bahamas, highs closer to 90 Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. Overnight lows getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. But the heat index will be a factor, making it feel as hot as 105 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. In the tropics, we've got the remnants of Gordon. There's organized showers and thunderstorms associated with Gordon, or the remnants of Gordon, are located in the central tropical Atlantic, not going to be a threat to anybody. The system may interact with a non-tropical low and potentially redevelop into a tropical depression or storm later this week as it drifts northward. Formation chance through the next 7 days. Medium, about 60%. Then in the northwestern Caribbean Sea, there's a broad low pressure area that may form this weekend in the northwestern Caribbean Sea. Some slow development is possible early next week as it moves slowly north or northwest. Formation chance about 20% over the next 7 days. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store today. And we've got another check of your traffic for the morning brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. Your real-time traffic, those areas we told you about in the previous traffic report, they're even busier now. So keep that in mind. You've got Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic northbound, and zigzag roundabout seeing from multiple directions now. Northbound on New Providence, southbound New Providence Highway, northbound on Milo Butler Highway, eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive. And even some congestion southwestbound on Farrington Road this morning. Farrington Road looking busy for you heading into the Chippenham and Oaksfield area, so keep that in mind. Then we've got Independence Drive, both directions, heavy traffic, west and eastbound. Carmichael busy for you, eastbound to Blue Hill Road busy at that intersection with Independence Drive, and along Tony Williams Darling Highway, backed up there eastbound. Southbound on Blue Hill Road, also busy, so that is busier than usual, and from all directions at the Independence Drive, Blue Hill Road roundabout, so keep that in mind. Soldier Road is busy for you as well in multiple spots near Windsor Place, near Prince Charles Drive, Robinson Road, and as you get closer to the intersection with Bernard Wolf and Village. Eastern Road, still heavy, slow-moving traffic for you from San Souci to about Johnson Road and Prince Charles Drive at the major intersection. Those are your major hot spots this morning. Good luck to you. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, the metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp, stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store, Find colour in every day.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
RBC. RBC will find the right loan for all of you with competitive rates and extended terms to suit you. Whether it's for debt consolidation, your next vehicle, or home purchase, sometimes we all need a little more. No matter the reason for the loan, we're here to help you find the solution. RBC. RBC has all the loans for all of you. Let's start with a conversation today.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Not the Christmas junk of the music. Really? Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Chester Robards. We are talking Junkanoo. We've got Ivan Thompson with the JCNP with us. So we pick up our conversation. So the press conference yesterday issued a statement as well. The way forward, the Trevor Davis-led Valley Boys are going to have to remain in Category F. Let's talk about that, and I'm sure they were hoping that over these past few days, since that statement was initially made, that there might have been some movement, but you're sticking to your guns. I know I don't like that phrase with guns there, but let's talk more about this. What has been happening over the past few days? Even the Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, Mario Bolek, came out and said he didn't understand this reasoning for this, but let's talk about what has been going on in the past few days.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Chester, and good morning, Bahamas. Well, as you may be well aware of, the JCNP, we are governed by a set of rules that governs and assists us in managing our parades. And the rules were put in place by the membership of the JCNP, which comprises of all of the Junkanoo groups that exist within the country. That's the A division groups, the B division groups, the D division groups, the individuals, or the individual association. And so these rules are put in place to bring order and to bring structure to our parades, that will help us in the management of our parades. And so the decision that the JCNP made, or it was not a decision, we just simply complied with the rules that are currently in place as it relates to groups coming to Bay Street, whether you're registered in the A division or whatever division you're registered in, and that is the simple rule of law. That's what we followed. So it was not a matter of picking sides or choosing sides, but it was just a matter of complying with the rules that currently exist and that's been existing for 20 years, and that's what it was for us.
All right, so explain the rules to us.
Yes,
we know the Way Forward group has been saying they did something. They registered as an NPO. They have the name. They have the rights to the name. The other group is saying, well, we are the Valley Boys. let's talk about what the rules say about registering with the Registrar General as an NPO. What's required, what's not required?
Well, first, we don't get into the internal wranglings of a Junkanoo group or Junkanoo organization. That is not the business of the JCNP. It's not we don't get involved, okay? Whatever internal matters you're dealing with, then it's for you to deal with, and then you come to the body.
But do you have any standards that the groups must meet?
There are some standards that the groups must meet. And with the registration process, if you're a new group, of course, there's a registration date. If you are a new group that wants to exhibit, to come to Bay Street to participate in a parade, of course, the deadline for that, your application is April 1 for a new. We receive your application. Your application is read to the body. We debate it. The body votes on it, and then you will come to Bay Street on Boxing Day in the E category. E meaning to exhibit, and
you have to.
You have to exhibit to show that you meet all of the criteria for that particular division, which is if you're a division group, you have to have 201 plus members, the lead costumes, the banner. So you have to show us that you're capable of being an A group or a B group where you need 50 plus members. So those are the criteria that you must have to be in those particular categories. So you exhibit.
You do that one time.
You do that one time, Boxing Day, and then New Year's Day. The New Year's parade, you would compete for a prize. And so those are the rules. For existing or returning groups into the organization, you have to register your group to June 1 is your deadline for returning groups. So like returning groups, like existing groups like the Saxons, the Valleys or Roots or One Family, Genesis, et cetera, et cetera. Those are what we consider returning groups. And a lot of these groups have been with the organizations from its existence. Okay, over the years, some things have changed. Some mechanisms were put in place as it relates to seed funding. I think it was under the leadership of the minister of the late Charles Maynard, where we were required to have business license and TIN numbers now to prove that you were an organization. You don't have to be an NPO. We don't fall within that category. Okay, we don't have to be an NPO. So
but you do have to have a business license.
But you do have to have that business license and the TIN number in order to receive government funding. And so all of the groups at that time, and I distinctly remember because I was the secretary at that time, they complied with this. And of course, they have been receiving seed funding. And those groups under those names, all of the names existed from then and exist to now. So I don't know why, people are expecting that things are supposed to change.
So you're basically grandfathered in as long as you meet that June. Is it June? You said?
Oh well, it's not. June. No, it's not. You applied. Yeah, you've applied. June 1 is the deadline for a returning groups to meet the deadline. June 1 is your deadline date, and that's it.
So in this instance with the Valley Boys group, it's a new group, I guess, in terms of registration and that kind of stuff.
March 7th, we received an application from the Valley Boys already.
Which one?
The one that was always there.
Okay. Okay.
The one that was always there.
Right.
The one that was always there. We receive it as we always do. The expectation is groups submit their application.
Right. This was March, you say?
March 7th, yes. March 7th, we received the application.
Right.
And in May, we got another application from the Valley Boys again, which, of course, would be duplicitous.
Right.
And this was the way forward.
This
Valley
was
Boys.
the way forward, Valley Boys.
So when you received that, what were you all thinking?
We said, why is there a duplicate? We discussed it. We brought it to the body. We discussed it, and it was rejected. They didn't apply as a new group. So let's make that clear. They didn't apply as a new group. They applied as the Valley Boys. We've already received the application. We've already received a payment from the Valley Boys.
Right.
Why are we receiving a second one?
Did you have any conversations with any members of that
we don't. That's not our business. They send the application in. I think our chairman did. He and discuss, but I know that other documentation was sent in from a lawyer to say, well, okay, we are the true representation of the JCNP. We don't work like that. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work.
Well, explain that. Why doesn't it work that way? If you got a notice from a lawyer, there's something going on. Why not?
We've had leadership changes in all of the groups. We've had it with one family just this year as well. They've changed the executive board. They have a new chairman. We've had it with Roots. We've had it with Saxons. And so what is required is a letter from the secretary of that organization or the chairman to say, well, the Saxons or the Roots conducted a general meeting or a general election during the general meeting of blah, blah, blah date. And there has been a change in the executive of the organization. The representations, are as follows: chairman, blah, blah, and then they would list all the A groups have 5 reps and their chairman that sits on the JCNP, in the JCNP organization. And they will list those names, whether they are returning persons that will represent the organization or they are new persons that will represent the organization. And so once we get that letter, that proper letter from the organization to say, well, we had an election and these are the persons that will represent the group, that is what has been accepted over the years. You sending us a letter from your attorney that okay, Dwight no longer represents my group means nothing to us. That's your personal issue. You have to go out and you have to deal with that. That's not a matter that should come before the JCNP. Okay, your infighting or within your organization is nothing. It doesn't come before the JCNP. We have our set of rules that we're governed by. We have the set of regulations. We have this, our SPs, and we go with that.
So even if they had come as a new group, they would have missed the deadline. Is that right?
April,
you said it was May.
Yeah, April, right. It was made around May 24th, around there.
So is it that people think the JCNP is some kind of like arbitration body in some instances as well for Junkanoo? Have they tried to come to you for those kinds of things before?
Yeah, we do. See, we want what's best for Junkanoo. We believe in unity. We believe in unity. A lot of the groups are like family. I'm a member of Roots, and there's a family atmosphere. There's a family temperature. One family is similarly the same. Saxons is the same. My son actually, Rush, is with the Saxons. He left me in Roots and he went to the Saxons and he found his place there. But what I'm saying,
you say it's family. How could you let him do that?
even like the chairman said, even families sometimes fall out.
Okay. So I'm sure you're not suggesting the Valley Boys is not like that.
No, I'm not suggesting that they're not like that. Right. I mean, they had an internal issue that
as families do.
As families do, that we would have hoped would have been resolved amicably, and apparently calmer heads certainly didn't prevail in this situation, and this is where we're at.
All right, so I want to go back to May. After you rejected this confusing, I guess,
because
letter,
it was a duplicate, yeah.
What happened after that? Because shortly after that, I'm sure you heard Trevor Davis speaking about what was happening, because he made it very public what was going on in the Valley Boys.
We communicated with them our position, and we've already received an application professionally, as we always do. We returned the funds that they sent to us. Our job is not to run to the press or always to answer when somebody goes to the press. That's not our job. We're not into the back and forth. We're a professional organization, and we conduct ourselves in that manner. Even though people think that Junkanoos can't conduct themselves in that manner, we do. This Junkanoo is represented by a cross-section of the public, from heads of organizations, presidents, corporate, everyone. Junkanoo is all of us, Dwight. Yeah. And so we've, we don't go back and forth. Them going to the press, that's an internal issue. It's an internal matter. You understand? We've stated our position, And we said, well, we've already had a registered group under this name, and we cannot accept the duplication.
So the fact that they have registered this name, they say they own this name, the Valley Boys.
Yes.
Does that make any difference at all to the JCNP?
Well, that's an adjudication for the court to decide. The court will have to adjudicate that matter. We don't adjudicate that matter. And we don't get involved in that process. Again, we've made our position clear. They now have to, I guess, go to a court of law, unfortunately, to decide who will have the legal right to that name. And that's it. But I will say this, because there is the notion out there, if hypothetically, if we win, then we will be the Valley Boys to go to the Bay Street to rush for a prize. And one must be very careful of that, because during the duration of the existence of the JCNP, we've had groups that have changed names, and they do have that right. The person that registers the group can change the name and go down to Bay Street with the new with the name change. Mm-hmm. So remember, we have an application already in, signed by one individual. So that name changes. You understand where I'm going with this? That's the person that rushes on Bay Street still. Yeah. So it doesn't change the fact, or it doesn't change the position, and that's how it works. One family changed their name. Foxhill Congos changed their name from Foxhill Congos to Original Congos. We have name changes. So it has happened, and if they change a name, then the person that signs off on the application, who has the right, if they get the act on behalf of that group, to give us the notification that this group will no longer be called the Valley Boys, it will be called the Bushwhackers, and then they will go under the Bushwhackers. Mm-hmm. So it's not a new group, it's an existing group that simply changed the name. Mm-hmm. Okay?
This group we're talking about today is a new group. Under your kind of mechanisms at JCNP, this would be considered a new group.
Which group are we referring to?
The one that's going in the E category, F category.
Yes.
It's a new group.
Yeah, that is to us. It's a new group. Right. It's a new group. Yes. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's talk more about that decision. The F category. Somebody's asking why not put them, even though it's not quite according to the rules, but why not put them in the E category, the exhibition category? Let's talk.
Then we would defy all of the rules that other persons had to comply with. Mm-hmm. Genesis had to comply with it. The Immortals had to comply. Every new group came in, had to comply. Why are we bending our rules? It would destroy the fabric of our organization. Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. It's like trying to say give persons a bly. No, we are. And this is what happens even in our country. When you start bending and breaking rules, you see exactly what happens. Mm-hmm. It leads to the decay of an organization, and when we're not about that, we want to make sure. See, whatever happens in your house, Dwight, that's in your house. Mm-hmm. You have to fix your house, and we can't come in your house and fix it for you. Mm-hmm. But you have to fix your house, and then you have to come to us. So no, it must be done through the correct channels, and it must be done the right way. You apply the right way, and then of course we don't deny anybody. Junkanoo is for all Bahamians. Junkanoo is for all. It belongs to all of us. Mm-hmm. Okay, it belongs to all of us. But the competitive aspect of Junkanoo is what we manage on Bay Street. Mm-hmm. That's what we deal with.
And so they can have their chance at exhibition next year.
If they apply, yes, and we present it to the body, mm-hmm. and the body approves, of course. Then we respond to them. Yes, you can exhibit in the 2025 Boxing Day, and then compete in the 2026 New Year's Day.
Right. Wow. All right, so this got extremely complicated when they got the seed money that A category groups get, this new Way Forward Valley Boys. And I'm sure that must have caused some difficult discussions at the JCNP. Let's talk about that and your reaction to that when that happened, and what's supposed to happen now. They still have this $30,000 seed funding money. where do we go from here?
Well, Dwight, as our chairman, Dion Miller, eloquently stated last night, we are not responsible for what the government does. We don't get involved in what the government does. We don't have an opinion on it. We don't want to comment on it. And I am going to retain that position. We don't have a statement. So the government is at liberty to do whatever they so desire. But we have seen, as a result of it, other fund categories have now come forward.
Because normally they got
$2,000. Yes, that's correct.
And they want their $30,000 now?
Well,
you said the president's.
Well, you know, we don't.
How easy is it to form a fund group? Can I do that?
Of course you can. You can do one tomorrow.
Have I missed the deadline?
No, there's no deadline for a fund group.
I think I might.
A fund group is just basically it's a gap filler, basically. A fund group. It's a gap filler, and of course, you go when the parade management team, which is a team that's in place, the executive at a particular point, after we do the order of entry drawing, which is on the first Saturday in November, we kind of decrease, and the parades management team, they then take over the management of the parades, and they manage all of the affairs of the Junkanoo parades on our behalf. And so they were the ones who conduct the parades, and they will manage the flow of the parades, and they will know exactly. The order of entry tells us the manner in which we will enter Bay Street, and if there are gaps that need to be filled or whatever have you, then of course they insert a fun group to go down to kind of keep the crowds going and keep the parades lively.
So if this group decides they will follow the rules of the JCNP and apply and exhibit first and then compete, and there is no court decision yet, is it possible that we in the future will have two different Valley Boy groups rushing?
Well, if that's what they do, and if they want to, if they are able to retain the name, then it will be what it is.
And that is not an issue for the JCNP at all.
No, it's not. It's not an issue for us. We've stated that, but at this time that we've recognized that there can only be one Valley Boys that will compete. As we stated in the press conference yesterday, it will be one, but it will not be. I don't know why, if you would want to retain the name if you move away. It's just so life would be so much easier if you just move on and just start afresh.
Yeah, the minister pretty much said this, and others were saying it as well, that this could have been an amazing parade if we had allowed this group to be a part of the Boxing Day parade.
It will still be an amazing parade. It will still be an amazing parade. Oversubscribed, Dwight. Oversubscribed, Chester.
That's what you're thinking. It's going.
I'm telling you, it will be oversubscribed.
Even with this group in the F category.
Like our chairman said yesterday, the Bahamians love drama.
I was going to say,
so they will
part of it.
Come out just to even see the drama. So I am sure it will be oversubscribed. Ticket sales, tickets will go on sale the first Saturday in November, and I'm sure that there will be an oversubscription for persons wanting to come and see Junkanoo.
But you don't believe this is the end of it, though, right?
Pardon me?
You don't believe this is the end. That this is just going to be, that's it. Okay, we'll do F, and that's fine. I mean, do we honestly believe?
We're putting mechanisms in place to make sure that we have a smooth, functioning parade, that there are no disruptions. We're working in tandem, as we always do, with the nation's law enforcement agency, the Royal Bahamas Police Force, that always partners with us to ensure that there is a smooth, flowing parade, that the safety is our number one priority for our participants and for the viewing public. And so we're working in tandem with the Royal Bahamas Police Force that everyone is safe and there are minimal to zero disruptions. And so with the parades management team and the task force and the police working together and working in tandem, we are confident that all of this will be well managed. And we are looking for a successful parade, a successful, exciting parade, Dwight and Chester, if I may add.
Will this be the largest, most well-appointed F group you've ever seen?
In the history of Junkanoo, absolutely. Yes, in the
What are
history
the
of Junkanoo.
sizes like normally?
Fun groups can be anywhere from 10 persons to 50 to 60 persons. You see Sting, you see the Lickers, you see the Alphas. They're all fun groups. They come out, they have their little cowbells and their whistles, and they have fun. But I suspect that this would be a more structured fun group.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are talking with Ivan Thompson, the Assistant Secretary of the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence. Let's take these calls. We got to take a break soon, but let's take some calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Hi, good morning, Chester, and to Mr. Thompson.
Good morning.
Dwight, you say if we should expect this to be the end of it. It sounds straightforward what Mr. Thompson is saying this morning about what the JCN stands for. It sounds like it's not personal business as usual. It sounds like they just enforcing the law. Now, when you ask him that too, he mentioned that they're working with the police and the police is going to make sure everybody be safe. I hope the way forward understand that, and I believe that they should really. I just suggest they sit it out, right? But if they're not going to be the gap fillers like Mr. Thompson say, or go in the F group, don't embarrass themselves no more than what it is. Now, unless Silbert Ferguson was correct, the former chairman of the JCN, that these guys, or a few of them, or some of them, seem to be a bunch of privileged set of behemoths who believe that we're supposed to bend the rules. It's a bunch of confusion. Now, they said who get $2,000 all of them years looking for the other $28,000. The minister was wrong what he said. And I think it's straightforward what JCN saying and what Mr. Thompson is saying in here this morning.
Yeah.
And it should be the last of it. In spite of them knowing that the police is going to be there just in case they don't know how to act, then be a gap filler or go sit this one out. And the lawyer would say the lawyer need to, what I suggest the lawyer do is get the court case going on for the next year. They should sit this one out and get the court case going on, unless they think someone is a bunch of Joneses.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. And again, you said that it's too late for them to take part in Category E. They've
missed that. They've missed that
deadline.
opportunity. Yes,
Yeah,
that opportunity. This is a missed opportunity.
And that was April 1st was the
Yes,
deadline for
yes.
that one. Okay. Let's take another call, and it's JCNP, folks. That JCN
Morning.
something else. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Yes, and
Morning.
your guest.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey, Dwight, your guest said a couple of things. First of all, Dwight, in our human culture now, it seems as though whenever there's money involved, there's either somebody got a horse in the race. There's either a horse in the race, okay, or there's some sort of corruption. Your caller said that the Saxon group has had a leadership change, okay? Yes, the Saxon may have had a chairman in Toby Austin, okay, but Waller's still the leader, okay, because Toby can't cash a check unless Waller's a part of that. Also, he talked about the Genesis and the other group, the models coming as a fun group. In this case, Dwight, you're not sure that they actually have the numbers to come out as a category group. In this case of the Wally Boys, as far as the way forward, they are actually senior Junkanoos. There's enough members to ensure that they can actually come as an A category group and compete. You still have, prodigal sons. You have music makers. Chances are many times they have been at disqualification because of they fell short of some category, or the prodigal son never came at all. There's no rule that's written to say how many times, and you disallowed back on Bay Street as an A category, or you relegated to the B category. So if they're going to have prodigal son and music makers compete in the A category, then they need to have the way forward. Also, government cannot set a precedent, give the group $30,000 and be categorized as a fund group, and then others don't have that. That cannot be. So government needs to step up because $30,000 of our money can't go to no fund group to set a precedent for years. So A category, and the way forward need to compete, okay? Culture belongs to all of us, okay? If they take the money away, then everybody should compete, okay? Don't disqualify no group.
Okay. All right. Well,
Rules and standards belong to all of us.
It's not been. But you said this earlier. Someone's asking again on the text line. So they did submit on time, but they were rejected. But they wouldn't have been on time for a new group.
They would not have been on time for a new group, and they submitted on time for already existing group with the same name. And that's what we need the public to understand.
And that the other group had submitted already.
The other group had submitted
If
from
they
the
had
3rd
submitted
of,
before
the 7th of March.
If they had submitted before the other
For
Valley
a new
Boys.
group, it would have been an application to be considered. And
But
just
if
for
they
the,
had submitted as the Valley Boys before the Valley Boys did, what difference would
well,
that
we
have made?
already have representation on the board for the Valley Boys, and when I say, you understand what I'm saying? We have existing representatives. Okay, each group have representatives in the JCNP that represents their group.
Right.
Okay, they must sublist an official document from their organization stating the names of those representatives. Okay, so we know that if the letter did not come from the chairman, it should have come from the secretary with those, unless there was an election and there has been a change in the representatives. And that's what we're saying. Secondly, we don't deny Junkanoo, anybody to participate on Junkanoo group. Dwight, if you want to bring you and your family on you can come. It's an open thing.
Especially if I'm getting 30,000. We are coming.
Yes.
Trust me.
Do you every year do you have to submit your business license and TIN and all that as well?
Well, if whatever the government requires, we try to tell this is a requirement from the government, and we would like our members to comply to present these. So yes.
Let's take one more call before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good
Hi.
morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Morning.
I think this is all semantics. The name. But I even have no dog in this league. Or this or whatever. I just asked it. I just want to see the full complement of Junkanoo on Bay Street. You know what I mean? That this is our culture, man. You understand? I feel like you all is the ones really get involved in this dispute and picking a side. You understand?
Who's you all? The JCNP?
They put their registration and stuff in. You all saying because of a name or this or that, but let these people go rush back. These people lively and peacefully be told us all their life path. I was rushing, one of the church rushing from all the time.
But if they didn't meet the deadline, I mean, you don't.
Man, make you know what I'm trying to say, Dwight. Make the concessions or do something, man. You understand? This is.
They are going to rush.
They are going to rush.
They are going to rush.
They are certainly going to rush.
And they are properly funded.
They are, yes, they are going to rush. We have not denying them the rights to rush. They will rush.
And they are properly funded.
They will rush. Everybody, all and sundry will rush. But what we are not going to do is bend or break the rules for anyone.
Okay, we're going to take a break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Bad little lady, yeah, she be driving me crazy when she licking her lips and moving them hips like come here, baby. I wanna take it down now. She wanna hit the town now, and she all dressed up, drip on flood, bottom of her boots on blood. She just bring them lips and give me kiss, then we pull up in a whip. Yeah, dip we dip, she dip, skirt, copping feels wet. One man on the wheel while she twerking and working up on me. Grab a cup, fill it up, drink it down.
Your health just got brighter with Lamp Insured. Sign up for Doctors Hospital's Lamp Insurance Supplement Plan and enjoy copay waivers and complete access with no upfront ER or inpatient collections. Only $30 per month. Visit doctorshosp.com/lamp to sign up or contact 242-822-1009. That's 242-822-1009. Your journey to affordable and worry-free healthcare begins now.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Do you know a fisher who braves the seas every day, bringing home a catch that feeds our communities? Nominate them now for the Anchor Awards, a night dedicated to celebrating the unsung heroes of our waters. On November 16th at the Bahama Resort, we're shining a spotlight on those who make waves, both big and small. Visit the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources Facebook page and click on the link provided to submit your nomination. Let's give our fishers the recognition they deserve. Anchor Awards 2024.
When you jump in your Japanese import and you turn the radio on, all you hear is... For the month of September, the Hit Spot will install a band extender in your Japanese import for the discounted rate of only $79.99, VAT included. Get your band expander installed today at the Hit Spot and listen to
Star 106.5.
Plus, get fresh news on Smart Talk on
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Guardian News Network update on the hour. Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Ferguson. Leaders of BPL's managers union say they are even more confused now following the energy minister's vague responses to their questions about the transmission and distribution reform underway at that company. BEUMU leaders in a Zoom call with members said the minister's written responses to their questions about the timeline for seconding some BPL workers to Bahamas Grid Company, the procedure for that phased secondment, and how the management teams for both companies will liaise were not up to par. They are also concerned about protection for those seconded workers should Bahamas Grid fail. Based on the minister's answers, the union has advised BPL employees not to move over to Bahamas Grid. In other news, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence is standing firm in its decision that only the Valley Boys Group, under the leadership of Brian Adderley, will be allowed to compete in the A category during the upcoming Junkanoo parades in Nassau. The JCNP yesterday explained it will not allow two groups under the same name to compete in the same category, and that only Adderley's group is registered with the JCNP, as they rejected the registration of the Way Forward Valley Boys. The Way Forward's leader, Trevor Davis, has said they have no interest in competing in the F category for fun, as proposed by the JCNP. And a motorcyclist was shot to the leg by police yesterday after he reportedly led officers on a high-speed chase along Bay Street. We're told he opened fire on officers in the Masons Addition area, and they returned fire. He was later found hiding on a property in the McCullough Corner area with gunshot wounds to his right leg. He's now in hospital in police custody. That's what's making headlines at this hour. Stay with us. AP Update is next.
Do you know someone who is a champion for peace, a person who embodies and encourages cooperation, mutual respect, and justice, and creates a safe environment in which everyone can flourish? Well, guess what? You have from now until September 30th to visit our website, characterdaybahamas.org, and nominate that special person for a chance to be honored as a hidden hero.
I'm Rita Foley with an AP News Minute. Ukrainian drones hit a big military depot in a town deep inside Russia overnight. No immediate word on casualties. Former President Trump's first public appearance since that apparent assassination attempt on Sunday was last night at a town hall in Flint, Michigan. VAP's Haya Penjwani with what he said to the cheering crowd.
Only consequential presidents get shot at.
Trump repeated false claims that Chinese automakers are putting up large factories in Mexico. The GOP presidential nominee is also vowing to slap 200% tariffs on any vehicles made in unbuilt plants and shipped to the United States. He also said that he'll be meeting with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi next week. I'm Haya Penjwani.
Donald Trump campaigns in New York today. Vice President Harris speaks at the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute's leadership conference in Washington and has trips planned later in the week to Michigan and Wisconsin. I'm Rita Foley.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Hey boys, how y'all doing, man? What kind of music y'all like, man?
I like R&B.
Man, put that music playing in the background. That's break and scrape and jump and ooh, that's beating.
I like that too.
You like that too, eh?
Wake
Yeah,
up,
right.
it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about headshots and handshakes. We're going to get details about that initiative in just a few minutes. But we continue right now with our discussion with the JCNP, the Junkanoo Corporation of New Providence. We've got Assistant Secretary Ivan Thompson in studio with us. We are finally hearing from the JCNP on this very interesting summary saying debacle. We've said that earlier in the show, going on with the Valley Boys and how that's affecting Junkanoo. You don't think it is having?
It's not affecting Junkanoo,
no.
Actually. We are on with our programs. In fact, we are getting ready to basically vet the judges for the judging process. We're about to start the judging courses. We have
the deadline has passed already?
Yes, that's passed. We have our PMT in place. We are doing what we usually do during this time of the year. We're meeting all of our deadlines, and so we're geared up and we're ready to put on the greatest show on earth, and which is Junkanoo.
All right, we've got a lot of questions here. People asking. So somebody's asking, well, why didn't the minister consult with the JCNP? Does that usually happen? Does he not need to know who's registered as an A group before giving out seed funding? Tell us about how that process generally works.
We work, like we said, we work in partnership or in tandem with the ministry, the Youth, Sports and Culture. So everything that we do, we advise and we consult the minister. We seek permission for. In certain areas, basically, because with the arrangement, there's a responsibility on the government's behalf, and there's a degree of responsibility on our behalf, and so we do. But like we said, we don't control the minister, we don't control the government. They do what they have to do, and it's not a matter that we can really. Say, well, don't do X, Y, Z. We don't control that aspect of it.
I asked you this earlier, but I'm still trying to keep trying. So
Yes.
What was the real reaction from the JCNP? I mean, when you heard that both Valley Boys were going to get this $30,000?
Well, it didn't sit well with some of the groups. Not so much the JCNP, but it didn't sit well with some of the groups, and that's all I'm going to say. As it relates to that.
All of you are in groups.
Yes, we are.
Right.
We are all in groups. Yes.
All right. So this person, I think you did answer this. This person's asking, does the JCNP have a register of the group leaders?
Yes, we do have a register of all of the group leaders. We have a register of the group and all of the group leaders. And like we said, that's the register that we follow unless we have notified otherwise by the group's secretary or the chairman that there's been an election process within that group, and these are now the new representatives that will represent a particular group on the JCNP.
Well, this person says they like the name that the example you gave of the Bushwhackers. I think that's a very good and fitting name for... If you have questions for Ivan Thompson, you can call in 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. You can tweet us, you can Facebook us, you can text us 422-4796.
I have a question. Is there a standard corporate structure that Junkanoo groups follow typically in terms of elections and boards and that kind of thing, or is it just what they decide to do?
Yes, it's what they decide to do, and the structure the structure that the organizational structure that they decide to adopt. In the organization that I'm a part of, Roots, we have a chairman, we have a deputy chair. We have heads of section, so we have an ESB, an executive steering board. With the one family, they have likewise a similar structure. With heads, they have a chairman, and of course, they have an executive committee that manages their affairs. Saxons, they have a leader, they have a chairman, and of course, and they have heads of sections. So basically, everyone follows that same prototype of having,
Everyone, or those that you mentioned?
Those that I mentioned, and of course, as in Roots, we have an election every 3 years, and so it's mandatory that you have an election every 3 years.
For Roots?
For Roots, yes.
So would it be out of order for the JCNP to recommend or require this of any group that's going to be in the A category?
No, we
You
don't.
could not do that? 'Cause many people are saying that somebody needs to oversee these groups so that there is some order, that we don't have situations like this again.
Well, we figure that you have, like I said, Junkanoo comprises of the cross section of the Bahamas. In all of these groups, lawyers and other professionals. We have several in our group. So I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that from time to time they get professional advice on what is wrong and what is right, the way forward. And I use that loosely, just as to the direction in which the organization should go, and the procedures that they should follow. So most groups, they do have election process. I know one family, they have an election process. Like I said, they recently had an election process, and they just submitted their new executive committee to the JCNP with their representatives that will represent that organization to the body.
If there was an NPO, and I don't know why this group
would
have done it.
Nothing to do with us.
But they would have had, I guess, a statutory kind of thing that they had to do within their group if they are a true NPO, I think. But had that ever been a consideration for Junkanoo groups?
No, not when that law was drafted and formulated. There are classes of persons that should have been registered as an NPO, and because I'm a part of an organization that had to be registered as an NPO. Toastmasters, for instance, I'm a part of that organization, so we had to go on that list. And I remember quite clearly we had to get documentation from California, which is where we were headquartered, to support our application to say that we fall under this category as an NPO, and so we did that. In Junkanoo, as with the churches, they fall under the classification or the category that you don't have to register as an NPO, and that's just exactly where we fall.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to.
I'm just trying to figure out how to leave no room for coups.
Oh, yes.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good
Hi.
morning, Chancellor.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guests as well.
Good morning.
I got just several questions. Is the JCNP responsible for the paying of the prize money? Is that done by you?
Yes, we're responsible for the paying of the prize money.
Oh, okay. And another question.
Sure.
But I mean, this is a speculative question. Can the courts put an injunction against Junkanoo and stop the parade?
I highly doubt that.
Why?
Doubt that.
I highly doubt that. Yes.
If this matter goes beyond your arbitration and it goes to court, the court does not have the power to stop Junkanoo?
In this case, caller, there is not an issue with Junkanoo. There is an issue within one organization that participates in Junkanoo. This matter does not overall affect Junkanoo, and Junkanoo comprises of more than just one group. Junkanoo is far bigger and greater than that. Okay? There are thousands of other persons that participates in Junkanoo. So the matter at hand does not involve Junkanoo, the overall ambit of Junkanoo. It only involves one organization within Junkanoo. And I presume that if that matter goes to court, it's to clear up their issues. It's not a Junkanoo issue.
But I mean, the court may see it otherwise.
Why would it?
Because because I mean, there's so much. I'm not involved, but there's so much you say and I say. Okay.
Within the one organization.
Within the one organization, yes, not in Junkanoo.
So I mean, they say, "Oh, we were registered this and that," and you set a precedent with another group. But you had two groups rushing previously. This is what I'm hearing. So
All right, so I'm getting something else from your question. You're asking if they were to take the JCNP to court, what impact that would have. Okay, let's see if Mr. Thompson can answer that.
I don't know under which grounds they would take the JCNP to court, but like I said, we just stand on our rules. We follow the guidelines. We follow the deadlines. And it's as simple as that. And we are a well-structured organization. Like I said, for all these years, all of our members, our member bodies have complied with the rules, with the registration process, with the deadlines. And so we're simply following what we have in place. And we are well protected, like I said, by law. And these are rules that we've been following all of these years. So I don't know why there needs to be a sudden change this year, because there's an entanglement with one organization.
All right, we're running out of time. Let's take some calls really quickly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Chester with you?
Yes, good morning.
Yes, Chester
Good morning,
and Ivan
Chester.
Thompson with the JCNP.
Yes, Mr. JCNP. I love what you're saying, because it to me, as a spectator, it gives some relief to know that you guys are standing firm and you guys have rules and regulations and you're not willing to bend. You know, like you say, the second faction came in and they tried to register Valley Boys, which was already registered. You know, so I think they, like we all are saying, change the name. I don't understand the reason, and I smell a mutiny coming on, you know, where they're trying to challenge the JCN. Like, you guys don't have rules, or your rules should, or the minister should say what he say, and you're supposed to respond and do as he say. I don't get it. You know, it's satisfying to hear what you're saying, but it's also somewhat confusing as to where they are coming from, because here it is, in my view, they first of all stole the name. Second of all, they stole the shack. Now they are trying to steal the JCNP or JENP. They are out to move stuff and switch it to suit their own self. That is not right, you know. And they're talking about coming on as a category group. When you guys have rules, weren't they a part of this group, knowing how the rules are set up?
They were a part, and they were part of the entire process of even putting the rules into place.
Okay, so I mean, because it now don't suit their purpose, they now want to change. I'm still confused with where they are trying to go. How hard is it today to come up with a new name? You know, you can just name them the Circles. You know, call themselves something else, and then participate, win the prize, show the world famous Valley Boys that you guys can do it. You know, I've been saying it. Just pick a new name, hit the road, and give me something to shake about.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Before we get to this next call, okay, so quite a few texters are asking this. I have to edit this so that it... Anyway, if the JCNP learns that there's a group where there are claims of mismanagement and mishandling of funds, can you do anything about stopping them from participating?
We don't get involved in the day-to-day management of groups. If there is a mismanagement of your group, there are other avenues that you can take to resolve your issue, whether it's through legal recourse or through another avenue. But that is not for the JCNP to get involved in. We are involved in the management and execution of the parades, management and execution, not to delve or to get into a group's or one organization's affairs. We don't do that. There are other avenues that a group can resolve their issues.
Okay. Let's take this call. We've got only a couple minutes left. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, what's it, Dwight?
Hi. Good morning.
Chester.
What's happening?
And good morning to you all guests.
Good morning. Good morning.
I want to say, boy, he's a good representative. Toastmaster, speak eloquent, and listen, he got everything right down back. But there's a question I want to ask him. When you all had that meeting with the minister and all of the stakeholders and the other organization that is a part of the Junkanoo, right? That was to try and to get them to resolve their problem. What assistance that you all have given them, knowing that there's one group, which was one group was looking to how to have a they was looking to have Hold.
A special meeting where they had an election.
Right,
Right.
election.
Mhm.
If one group was looking up the election, what was the group? What was, well, let's call them, what? The New Way?
Way forward.
Way forward. They was looking to have the election. The other group, what you all recognize as the world famous Valley Boys. When you all was in that meeting, did you all told them something what you all know would have probably put the group in the right spot by telling them you all go have a election and you all decide who will be the leader of your group. Did you all make that clear to them that they have to have an election?
Thank you,
before they
Caller.
come and
Let's get Ivan Thompson.
Thank you, Caller, for that question. It's a very topical question. What we do, what we like to see in Junkanoo, we promote unity, we promote harmony, we promote oneness. And that's one of the things that we try to promote in this whole ordeal. The coming together and the representation of the Valley Boy as we all know it. And really, over the years, the name, even from the existence of Gus Cooper, has always been used interchangeably. The Valley Boys, the world famous Valley Boys, the most winningest group in Junkanoo. These are all of the phrases and slogans that you've heard them say over the years. So whether we said the world famous Valley Boys, we knew it was the Valley Boys. Whether we said the Valley Boys, we knew it was the Valley Boys. But we don't push down on the throats, or we don't dictate to organizations say, well, you must have an election. We trust that you will manage and run your group.
Plus, from what we're hearing from, I'm sure as a Junkanoo, you've heard this before, that they are scheduled to have elections next year. So we're told.
Yes, so we've been made to. Yes.
All right. So in our final minute, just wanted to respond to this statement that was sent out by Trevor Davis after the JCNP press conference yesterday. So he says, we are aware of the press conference held today by the JCNP. This was anticipated, and our legal team is currently reviewing the content in preparation for our formal response. We expect this matter to be resolved in the Supreme Court. We encourage everyone to remain steadfast, focus on preparing to go to Bay Street. As a reminder, by law, the world-famous Valley Boys must change their name. Regardless of current developments, the Valley Boys Junkanoo Group, which is legally registered, will proudly be on Bay Street as an A group. Thank you for your unwavering dedication and support, Trevor Davis, Chairman. He's still saying that they're going to be an A group. What say you to that?
Persons can say what they want to say. This is a free and democratic society. You can make any statement you wish to make. We know it will happen, and we're sticking by that. And like I said,
if the court says that they are the Valley Boys, nobody else is, and since the Valley Boys are registered to participate, will
then
that be?
If the person that registered the Valley Boys have to change a name, if it changes from the Valley Boys to the Bushwhackers, because they are proven themselves to be an organization that already existed within the JCNP, they're only going through a name change, then the Bushwhackers will be on Bay Street in the A category.
But the people who are the Valley Boys now cannot take their registration seats.
No, they cannot take their registration seat, and that's what they fail to realize. They cannot take their registration seat. It's already registered. It's already signed off. And so
is the JCNP prepared for a legal battle?
No. We're prepared for it. I hope they're prepared for legal fees. I mean, we don't have a problem. Our rules, like I said, we stand on the rules. And it has happened before. Like I said, Foxhill Congos changed their name from Foxhill Congos to the original Congos. They didn't have to exhibit, or they didn't have to go in the fun category, because we already know them to be Foxhill Congos. They've proven themselves. They've rushed. They just went through a name change. And if any group must go through a name change, or they're deciding to change their name, then that will be, the new name is what will go on Bay Street. Okay. It's not a new group. It's the same group.
Well, as you said, this isn't over, it seems. It feels like it's not. Ivan Thompson.
It's over for us.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's over for us.
Secretary of the JCNP.
And that's it.
Sir, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Dwight, thank you. And we also want to thank, before we go, we also want to thank Corporate Bahamas. And we like to thank our partners, and our sponsors in the JCNP alive. And we know that Junkanoo is certainly alive, as you can see, alive and kicking. And of course, Kalik, they say the bear of the Bahamas. So we would like to thank them for reposing their trust and faith in sponsoring this cultural phenomena.
Exciting times. Thank you for being here this morning. Really appreciate you. We're going to take a break and be back with more Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
$100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Raking Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Mass. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
We are back with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks now, but we finally got it together. We worked out the schedules, and so headshots and handshakes. Levin Wilson is with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You haven't been here in a long time, but good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Likewise.
So this is an interesting concept. Let people know what headshots and handshakes are all about.
Good question. So it's presented by Access Co-work Suites, right? Mm-hmm. We're a co-working community in Western New Providence at the One West Plaza. So we're a community of small and medium-sized businesses, and what we do is we try to hold events for our members, right, to give them opportunity to network and to get together. And we realized that in our directory, hardly any of our members had headshots, right?
Oh.
So we're like, you know what? If we want to promote our directory, we need to do something that
professional
photos, exactly, that people can use for social media, advertising materials, graphics, that kind of stuff, right?
Why do you think that is? Why didn't they?
I'm not sure exactly why. But those there were a few that had them, but most people didn't have professional ones.
It's possible they were like me and hated to take pictures.
Maybe that's a part of it. Maybe they didn't have an opportunity to,
or we're just too into selfies now.
Right, and a lot of them had like selfies that they took like out and about, and they just cropped them. Right. So it wasn't professional.
Right.
So my team and I, we were like, listen, why don't we just create a day, an opportunity for our members to come and take professional shots, right? And then we contacted the team over at Lifestyles Digital Media. That's Ethan Quant. We said, listen, we need a good photographer, and we started throwing ideas out, and this thing just developed into something bigger. We said, listen, let's not just do it for our members. Let's do it for the public. Let's allow them to come and meet our members and to network and to mix and mingle at Access, because we're still relatively new, right? And it just evolved.
Yeah.
We got Bank of Bahamas involved. They're going to be there. They're going to be there creating opportunities for you guys, for the public to submit applications for different facilities.
Right.
A live business is going to be there. They're going to give away a free iPhone, and they're also going to allow the public to come and sign up for their new features and mobile services as well. Burns House is going to be there giving out samples of their new products. So headshots and handshakes is a corporate mixer on Saturday.
Saturday coming.
Right, Saturday coming. So you can either come and get your headshots, or you can just come in and mix and mingle.
Or you don't have to get that.
You don't.
If you don't want it or need it.
No, you don't.
But just come for the networking opportunity.
Yeah, so there, a couple different, you can come in for free. So if you just came just to hang out and just have a few drinks and mix and mingle, it's free. If you wanted to get your headshots, it's just $250. Right, and then you could contact us at Access Cowork Suites, and we could schedule that with our photographers. But that $250 also includes Moet champagne, and we're gonna have hors d'oeuvres as well.
Fancy.
Yeah, man, you gotta turn it into something special.
Yeah. Do people? I mean, do you get the feeling that people understand why a headshot might be important?
That's a very good question. I think most of the persons we talk to, they understand.
Yeah.
They say, you know what? Yeah, I think I need to get it updated. Yeah. I think it's just the right opportunity,
right,
or knowing where to go. I think that's really what it was, and that's why we decided to partner and present the opportunity. Yeah.
I know a big thing with headshots is makeup. Is that included in this as well?
Yeah, we will have a makeup artist present
on
site.
Right.
Who would assist if you do need makeup? Personally, I don't like too much makeup, but when I do my photography, but there are some persons who require it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a makeup artist on site if those persons do require that.
They like to slap a little bit of makeup on us, ball.
Right. They always talk about take off the shine.
Take off the shine.
All right. So how long will it take to get the headshot? Because if you want to really mingle with people, how long do you need to block out for that?
That's a good question. The sessions are going to be quick, 15-minute sessions, right? And that's how we have them blocked out from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
So they're going to be done in 15-minute segments. Okay. So you really have to really schedule it in advance.
Yeah.
We'd advise that. We're not encouraging walk-ups for the headshots, right?
Okay.
Because we're going to have two photographers there, and it's 15-minute segments.
Okay. How many can you accommodate?
From what I remember, when we did the math, maybe about 30 to 40, depending, right? Some persons are professionals, like guys like yourselves, you do this stuff all the time, so you're probably getting there in and out in 5-10 minutes, right? And then there's some people
Chester's been working on his pose.
And there's some people who may require a little more time,
right?
But we figure we could do about 30 to 40, and then depending on the response, we'll determine when we're going to do it again. But the whole premise is just to network and to get people to experience access.
Right.
Because a lot of people, even though we've been there a while, people haven't They don't know what we are. They don't know, where we are, what we're all about. And it's such a beautiful space.
Okay, we'll get back to headshots and handshakes. Tell us about Access. Tell us about how long it's been and what people need to know about it.
Thank you. So it's a 20,000 square foot co-working space. Like I said earlier, it's at the One West Plaza, right next to Kaima. I think Kaima is probably the biggest landmark next to it. So it's one of the new buildings next to Kaima. We basically built a office center that can hold up to 70 offices. Wow. But how we designed it where it's a community, where everything is shared. So, for example, if you wanted, you're the small and medium-sized business, we could provide you with a 10 by 10 turnkey office solution. All furniture, AC included, internet included, also electricity, right? For a small fee, a monthly, a fraction of what it would cost if you went to go and build out an office for yourself. Right. So you could basically walk in there, put down your credit card, and you can have your office. All you need to do is bring your credentials and your laptop. Right. Our foyer area is like, we built it to be like an event area as well. We have a small coffee shop area that's eventually going to be a coffee shop. Nice. Then we have open areas as well. So even if you don't have an office, you can get a membership where you could come in and work at your leisure at any open desk, or maybe grab some coffee, or or use us as a mailing address for your business. Right. That's perfect for persons who may work from home. Right. So we have different levels. You could even rent a desk. So if your budget was $400 to $500 a month, you could have a dedicated desk where you could lock up your credentials, and that's you. Right. No one else can use it. So we have different levels, four different levels. But the bottom line is we created it where we could accommodate up to 70 offices, unlimited members. Our amenities are shared. If you wanted to have a meeting in the conference room, you basically go in your app and you say, okay, on Thursday from 1 to 2, I'm booking this wardroom. Nice. And it's going to be available to you, right? So I'd like you to see it. It's such a beautiful concept. It's compared to a WeWork. And the great thing is when we designed it, we actually got a designer who designed the space. Oh, okay. So it's really on a high level. It's a nice space. And it's very affordable. Yeah. Perfect for persons. Let's say you had an office in the East or maybe PI, and you wanted to have a small presence in the West and didn't want to have a full office. Right. It's perfect for that person.
Can you say what some of the rates are?
Yeah. So for 10 by 10, we have an introductory rate of $1,200 a month. That's all in. Turnkey, right? We do have a few smaller offices that are 8 by 10s. They're about $1,000 a month. We no longer have those left. Our membership for a private desk, right? Those are $450 a month for a private desk. Okay. And then if you just wanted to have a membership where you could come to our events, use our mailing address, come in and use the boardroom, have meetings. That's one. Right now we have a promotion where it's $175 a month. So excellent. We're very affordable. Yeah.
What's the membership like now? How many do you have?
Right now we have about 50 offices that are already taken. So we do have some room for more clients. Our membership is at about 200 persons and growing. So we good, Okay. There's a trend in this community or co-working internationally. Most persons who utilize a co-working space only utilize it for about 3 to 4 hours a day, right? Yeah. So we have room for a whole lot more. That's the international trend. Because most of those persons are flex workers. Yeah. We have a lawyer who will come in maybe 3 hours a day in his office, and then he go home.
What's kind of beautiful about that space is you got almost everything around you. You got a couple lunch options. You got coffee options. You got pharmacy.
You're right. Right. You got Lewis and Steen's right across the street. You have pharmacy. You also have 3 restaurants. Within a second, 5 seconds away. So it's a very convenient location, right? So all the conveniences are there, and it's growing, man. Be excited about it.
I'm very curious about what's happening since the pandemic with people still working from home. We see in other cities, companies have closed down their businesses, the storefronts, as allowing employees to work from home. Right. What impact is that having? Is that making the case for shared workspaces so that when we do need a meeting, since everybody's working from home, come to this place?
Yeah, that's a very good point, right? These businesses have thrived since the pandemic, right? Because prior to pandemic, most people went into the office 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic happened and most persons work from home. And then after that, companies realized that, hey, I don't need as much square footage as I had before.
Right.
Because we worked very well with everyone working from home. And we've seen an increase in that trend globally. A lot of large companies are reducing their real estate footprint and getting involved in co-working spaces because it helps with their overhead. They're cutting expenses tremendously. Right. And their teams are working maybe 3 days in the office, 2 days home. So the co-working solution is perfect for a lot of large corporations and even small and medium-sized businesses. And we see that trend growing even more. Because now, by cutting your overhead, now you could invest more into to other things like marketing and business development. So we see that trend growing, and we saw an opportunity to introduce that to the Bahamas on a very high level. And the hardest part for me as a lead is convincing a lot of Bahamians that you don't need your own boardroom. Right? A lot of people come to, I want my own boardroom, I want my own bathroom. Why? For what reason? You hardly ever use it anyway. We have 4 boardrooms, 3 large, 1 small, right? Which is more than sufficient. You could book any one of those. So it's about fractional, it's about sharing expenses, and the most important thing, and this is what I love the most, it's about community. Right? And there we have a diverse group of business people, entrepreneurs, and you're able to come in, meet people every day, come and sit down and have coffee, discuss ideas, collaborate on ventures. That's the most important thing for us. And we thrive on organizing events that bring our members together. We do every other Wednesday, we do a Wine Down Wednesday, where completely free, right? Where our members could come in the lobby area, have free wine, hors d'oeuvres, network, mix and mingle. That's the thing that we do consistently. Every last Friday we do an R&B party. We put lights and sound, and we block off the lobby area, and we invite our members out to an event in the night on a Friday night, right? Between the hours, between the hours of 9 and 2 a.m. No one's working during that time, so come out and have fun. And now we've introduced the headshots and handshakes into that mix as well.
Okay.
We're going to continue to introduce innovative concepts like that for our members.
So you said this might not be the last time you do this.
No, definitely not. So, this is the first. Of course, we're going to take the opportunity to learn, make changes. And then once we tweak it, we're definitely going to, schedule it again.
Yeah.
Probably once a quarter, possibly.
Okay.
We'll see.
Now, so we were supposed to do this a few weeks ago. Back then, you were looking for possible vendors. Are you still looking? I know this is Saturday coming already. Do you have all the vendors you need, or are you still opportunities?
There's still opportunities. Okay. Like I said, so far, Bank of Bahamas is going to be there. Heineken is going to be there. Johnny Walker is going to be there. Alive Business is going to be there. But there's still some opportunities for small and medium-sized businesses who would like to showcase their product and their services. There's still opportunities. Only $300, and you could come and set up your booth and get, let people try your product, expose your business, try and network and get new clients. So there's a tremendous opportunity there.
Let people know how to do that if they want to, if they're interested.
So give us a call at Access 603-4750, 603-4750, or email us at hello@accesscoworking.com. We're very responsive. We can get you, up and running and booked very fast over the phone with a credit card.
You need to be ready for Saturday.
Yeah, for Saturday, Most persons who do events are usually ready, right? They probably have their table and their tablecloth ready and their products ready. So we could get you turned around fast for Saturday.
All right, say that number one more time and the email address.
603-4750 and hello@accesscoworking.com. And we're also on social media at Access Co-working. So if you wanted to, follow us for the next, maybe not, if not this event, the next event, follow us at Access Co-working. We're pretty active on those platforms.
All right, so you said if you're doing the headshots, it's $250, and that includes everything, right? If you're not doing the headshots, same price, or how does that work?
If you're not doing the headshots, we invite you to sit. we'll have a cash bar there for
Okay, so you don't have no money. That's what you're saying, but cash bar.
Cash bar, yeah.
Okay.
If you want to get a glass of wine, you're gonna pay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the
That's
only
pretty
thing
cool.
that's free is for those who are taking headshots.
Okay.
So, like I said, Burns House, they're going to be there with giving out samples, but we're also going to have a cash bar as well. We have prizes, though. We're going to have a host, a DJ, and throughout the day, we're going to have presentations from our title sponsors and also prizes. I know Access, we're going to give away memberships, free memberships. Bank of Bahamas, they're going to give away Visa gift cards, right? Alive is going to give away
money on it.
Yeah, $100 each.
All right.
Alive is going to be giving away an iPhone.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah. What is iPhone? What is it? 15 now or
15, 16 about to launch.
Okay, so they're going to give away the latest one, either 14 or 15. No, hold me there. I know it ain't no 12 or 13.
Right.
Either 14 or 15.
Okay.
Not a 16. So they're going to give that away, and then a lot of other prizes. We're going to make it very interactive, and we're going to have opportunities for persons to mingle and mix and we're excited. We're excited about the event because it's something new, different, and we want the public to come out and support the business persons and the professionals to come out and support it.
It sounds going to be amazing. Again, remind people if they do want the headshots, they need to act fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because you need to book it. We don't have a lot of spaces, and we would like for you to book it in advance. Don't pull up there with cash. Hey, I want to do my headshot. No, please give us a call 603-4750. Make sure to reserve your spot because the times are very tight. We're only doing this from 11 to 4, right? So we encourage you to book it in advance, and then we could get you in and out very fast.
Okay. And remind people where this is going to be taking place. Headshots and handshakes this Saturday.
Yes, at Access Co-work Suites at the One West Plaza, right next to Kaima, in the same plaza as Prime Steakhouse. It's one of the new buildings that just built in the back. And it has a big logo on the building, Access Co-work Suite. Just follow the bat sign.
Sounds wonderful. One day we got to do the show live from.
Oh, for sure.
How about
Let's make that happen.
Yep. All right. Levin Wilson. Good seeing you again.
Yes, sir.
And classmate, we graduated together.
What school?
92, you know what
Queen's
school
College.
is. Queen's
I've known this guy for at least 35, 40 years.
Oh, Lord. But that's
Telling
no,
you, AJ.
one of the best graduating classes in the history of the Bahamas,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I mean, the number of amazing people that came from this grade. Why is my producer smiling?
Really? I thought you said it was a bunch of pilots.
Oh, no, Dwight. No. This guy. Who's
Sack,
this guy?
Sack.
Oh, had to be.
Jealous.
Had to be.
Levin, thank you again.
Appreciate you.
Headshots and handshakes this Saturday at Access Co-work Suites. We'll be back to wrap things up. This is Word About Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Dress up in my Tommy Sean and Nike. Nobody will ever know I got someone.
Are you tired of the same old 5K runs? Want something more? Then get ready for the Chick Charney Challenge City Run on September 28th, starting at Crypto Wild. Test your strength, stamina, and spirit. It takes all of you to dodge, climb, conquer obstacles as you race through the heart of the city. Lace up and get to the Chick Charney Challenge City Run. Register now on our website, chickcharneychurn.com, or on our social media pages. Brought to you by Colina, Island Yogurt, Advantage Insurance, Art of Graphics, Crypto Wild, and Guardian Radio 96.9.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
When you jump in your Japanese import and you turn the radio on, all you hear is... For the month of September, the Hit Spot will install a band extender in your Japanese import for the discounted rate of only $79.99, VAT included. Get your band expander installed today at the Hit Spot and listen to
Star 106.5.
Plus, get fresh news and smart talk on
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
KB and Sting, coming with the Bohemian ting. Come on. Woo! Oh, yeah.
payment. Hair on and bread. I don't want to live nowhere else, even when I dead. I's a Bahamian, and I always late. If you want me there by 9, better tell me come 8. See, I's a Bahamian, and I don't like say it. Nobody gonna spend my money when I go to my grave. Yes, I's a Bahamian, don't wanna make no fuss. But if you we know, but outside toilet, you was one of us. Like Andrews grabbing though, don't act like you don't know, you know. Man, you know. Oh, man, you how a Bahamian go. How they go, how they go, how they go. Oh, don't you know? Man, you know. Yes, man, how a Bahamian go.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. Minister of Energy and Transport JoBeth Colby-Davis advising the Bahamas Electrical Managers Union that the secondment of select staff members from BPL to Bahamas Grid Company, the company formed to upgrade and maintain the transmission distribution system on New Providence, will begin in early 2025. She's further promising the establishment of a transition committee to ensure that the secondment process is handled smoothly. In a letter to the union, Colby-Davis said the secondment period will be starting in early 2025 in a phased approach, and that impacted staff will be advised well in advance of the implementation date of the restructuring exercise. The secondment is a voluntary exercise, we're told, and it's not forced. A secondment guide will be prepared and shared with the impacted staff. You can read more about what she's saying in today's Guardian Business section. Interest in electric vehicles might increase thanks to the government raising the margin for gas retailers, especially in regards to the usage of commercial fleets. That's according to part owner of Easy Car Sales, Pia Farmer. She told Guardian Business that inquiries from businesses on fleet vehicles like trucks and vans has increased, given that using electric vehicles can save companies roughly 70% on gas and maintenance costs over time. Farmer says that it's time for gas station owners to consider investing in electric charging stations. Carnival Cruise Line has received roughly 4,000 applications for its Celebration Key cruise port in Grand Bahama. The project is actively recruiting employees and is seeking to open in July of next year. Celebration Key recently completed a recruitment drive at Bahamar where 200 people expressed interest in jobs at the cruise port. Recruitment officer Marielle Johnson says the 4,000 applications were received via 4 multi-island job fairs and Carnival's online recruitment portal. An Association of Bahamas Marinas President Peter Mori telling Guardian Business that local marinas are losing business to Caribbean jurisdictions like the British Virgin Islands because they have virtually no taxes on marinas there. He says it's hard to charter in the Bahamas because it's 14% taxes when the Caribbean is 0. More on his comments in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas from the U.S., having all but tamed inflation, the Federal Reserve is poised to do something today it hasn't done in more than 4 years. Cut its benchmark interest rate, a step that should lead to lower borrowing costs for consumers and businesses just weeks before the U.S. presidential election. And yet, an unusual air of uncertainty overhangs this week's meeting. It's unclear just how large the Fed's rate cut will be. Wall Street traders and some economists foresee a growing likelihood that the central bank will announce a larger than usual half-point cut. Many analysts foresee a more typical quarter-point rate cut. And Google has won a court challenge today against a €1.49 billion or $1.66 billion European Union antitrust fine imposed 5 years ago that targeted its online advertising business. The EU's General Court said it was throwing out the 2019 penalty imposed by the European Commission, which is the 27-nation bloc's top antitrust enforcer. The court said in a press release that the General Court annuls the Commission's decision in its entirety. The Commission's ruling applied to a narrow portion of Google's ad business, ads that the U.S. tech giant sold next to Google search results on third-party websites. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, AML Foods moving 805 shares, closing at $5.50 unchanged. Commonwealth Bank moving 3,500, closing at 504 unchanged, and Colleen Holdings moving 2,500. Down 10 cents, closing at 11.20. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,961.37, down 1.09. That's your Market Watch. And that's your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we're back with Morning Blend Business, our final couple of minutes here. This is something just coming across the news lines. Tupperware brand seeking Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Oh, wow.
Wow. That's something else. I'm
Been around a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure we're going to hear more about that. In the U.S., it doesn't mean that you're going to be done. You just need to restructure. Hopefully they can emerge out of this stronger company, but things are changing. They got lots of competition. And I think a lot of people are concerned about certain materials as well.
Right, yeah.
But I told you about this yesterday as we wrap up the show. I'm very concerned about something I saw yesterday, and I think all of us need to be concerned about this. I was driving on Tawny-Quilmes Darling Highway yesterday, and I heard the sirens. I'm like, where is this coming from? So heading the opposite direction. Police officer on a motorbike, followed by about 10 brand new looking vehicles, all of the same brand, and then followed by more police officers. I'm like, what's happening here? They just came off a ship or something. I'm like, what am I watching? What am I seeing?
Wait, the police were parting traffic for these vehicles?
Yeah.
Oh, this was, they were going through traffic.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Interesting.
The police were escorting brand new vehicles. And I saw later where they ended up. They ended up at that lot now where the Independent Shopping Center used to be.
Right. Which I told you, I said that's going to become a car lot. I
apparently.
could have told.
Apparently, they knocked down the shopping center.
I saw the cars yesterday when I passed. Yeah.
But is that you ever heard of something like that before? The police convoy for vehicles.
But you can pay for a police convoy, can't you?
For what?
You can pay for a police escort.
For your cars that you're going to sell?
For funerals.
What is happening in this country?
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs.
You can't get a police car to come or a police officer to direct traffic on a bike to save your life, literally, but they can escort vehicles to a car lot? What? No. This is insane, and something has to be done. We need to hear from the commissioner and maybe even the national security minister on this is how we waste money with the resources that we give to the police force.
Also,
I mean, unless those vehicles are for the police force, which is still weird, I do not understand.
Why do they need to be rushed through?
Why?
I've never seen any other car dealer do it. So
never once. Yeah. But what's going on in our country? Make it make sense. I know you all like to record parts of the show and send it out in a voice note, but somebody send that out so everyone can hear this, right? And we need answers. What are you doing? Why are you using motorbike cops to transport vehicles to a car lot? Huh? Why is my producer doing the money hand sign? Is that acceptable? We're going to accept that? And that's all it takes? So if I have reporting a crime, I need to call the police and say, I got some money for you if you come? No. Oh, okay. Chester Robarts, thank you for being here today.
Yes, sir.
I'll see you next week. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock there in green next.